viewers can actually see the difference.
It's Hamilton, right?
Yeah, this is Hamilton.
Sir Lewis Hamilton.
I think one very prominent thing that you can see is maybe the size of the car,
The length, yes.
the length of the car, and the width of the car.
The base are the same size. So that alone is a very good comparison. You can see that the W11, this is 4 years ago already. It occupies the full base now compared to such a small, short, simplistic. So Formula One cars previously are more agile and nimble. You know, they used to dart around left and right around the track. But nowadays, you don't see them do that anymore because they occupy the whole of the track. So, and also, I think the most obvious is aerodynamics. Aerodynamics has taken over in the last 30 to 40 years. Last time, aerodynamics used to be you put one wing in front, one wing behind, and then they hope black magic occurs, and then somehow the car sticks to the ground. That's their limited knowledge. Today with CFD, with wind tunnel, they can understand it better, so they can put sticky RP bits, and they put all the little funny little things that makes it look like alien technology sometimes. But that's the channel airflow, and to make the car more efficient, stick to the ground, or go around the corners faster.
So you
Sounds right.
Hi guys, welcome to Paddock Show. My name's Harris.
I'm Kumar, and today we have special guest from a very rare collection of Formula One cars, Mr. Eugene.
Common collection.
Thank you so much.
Common collector.
Okay, so how did you know Kumar?
I know Kumar through this story is interesting. I know Kumar through a dating website. It's a very popular dating website called Carousel. Yeah, well, we matched by selling and buying items. So just so happened was selling one of my RB18.
RB18 Japanese Jeep.
Yeah, the Japanese GP RB18s.
Which I missed out.
Which he missed out. So this guy by the name of Kumar, he messaged me. He said, "Bro, I want but I'm going Singapore GP next weekend. Can you keep it for me after that?" I said, "If other people want, then I cannot do anything lah. But so happened that nobody else wanted it, but him, it was destined for him lah. So he came back and picked
Nobody loved Max.
Typical of this big man, right? Typical of him, right? He just cannot see things that are rare, things that are expensive, things that is difficult to find.
Correct.
No, wrong.
After you.
Things that belongs to, things that manufactured or raced by Hondas.
Hondas. Yeah. I'm talking about Honda. You put it aside. I think Eugene is aware that this is not Honda. Be it a diecast, if it's called a diecast, it's gonna be Kumar the big man.
Aduh, they bully me. Hello.
So we're still waiting for the day we get invited to his man cave.
Yes, his man cave. That's right. I'm also waiting.
Aku in where?
Look forward to it.
We need to do a housewarming.
Boleh. Just bring all the diecasts you have.
So you guys out there who are diecast, contact us. Because we have a good lineup, and we are also looking for other diecast collectors as well. Right. Okay. So in episode 13, last week we had two excellent diecast collectors, Michael and Haziq.
Haziq, yeah.
So we covered a lot about the old eras, Sauber, and also Mansell's car.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
So today I thought we'll cover three other eras, which is Michael's era, and also Senna's era, and also the current Lewis era. So do we want to go through of what you have in front there?
Sure. So we'll start with
Senna's. Yeah. We go to the oldest one first.
Oldest one. Okay, yeah. So here we have Ayrton Senna's 1988 MP4. This is a Honda powered.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, McLaren. When McLaren and Honda were still on good days, not the Fernando Alonso days when Honda GP2 engine.
I don't sad.
To those that are maybe just got into Formula One, they don't realize how successful Honda is. They do now today because of Max. But Honda was struggling, I think, midway through 2000s. But back in 1988, they were number one. They were what Red Bull is today, Mercedes was in early 2020s. So Senna won all the races. Senna and Prost, the Prost behind here.
Right.
This MP44 won all races but one. Sounds familiar, right? I think it just happened again last year.
Yeah.
So one of the most dominant cars until the Red Bull RB19 came around. So Senna and Prost, two legendary drivers, together they won also 7 world championships. And I think one regarded as one of the best, most beautiful era, as you can see. Last week you all spoke about the Mansel's era. This is from the same era as well. It's a very boxy-like shape, but simplistic is more of a driver's car.
I think what I like about this era is the drivability of the car.
Right.
This is when you test the driver.
Yes. That's when they say your backside is the best instrument of the car.
To feel the car.
Yes. So they don't rely on data. That time, they don't rely on data. They don't rely on aerodynamics. Aerodynamics, yes, but it's very simplistic compared to the W11s. We can do some comparison later. But during this time, it is all about instinct, your feel of the car, and how brave you are on the brakes. How you're willing to just be the last of the late breakers, squeeze for the gap. Senna's famous line is, if you don't go for the gap, you're not a racing driver.
Was this the era that he got to Michael and then Tegur Michael said,
Yes.
you better be careful of your drive?
Yes.
No, that was 1991.
Yes, not the 88. Later on.
1991.
Yeah, because
Same era.
Same era.
around
1991.
Right, so near the tail, I would say tail end of his career because it was cut short early. But during that time, he wanted to show he's the only lion on the mountain.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you were to buy this diecast right now,
Sure.
how much would it be in the market?
This exact one, I would say it's about 6,000
6,000, you guys. All right.
because of the currency conversion. Mostly due to the currency conversion. Amalgam did raise their prices recently, even for the same model.
So this is by Amalgam.
This is by Amalgam Collection. It's a UK diecast maker. They specialize in making limited run collectible cars, and this is one of the iconic ones.
This is run number.
This one has no run number. It's still selling on their website. You can actually go and check it out. Approach with caution, but you can purchase one if you want today.
So this is diecast or is it resin?
This is resin.
This is resin.
Yes.
Okay. So what are some of the key things that you look out for when you buy diecast from Amalgam?
Amalgam pride themselves in doing in high level detail. So they're actually specialized in 1.8 and 1.4 models, which is real life, close to life size details. And they pride themselves in making sure all the little details are matching to the real thing. These are 118s. Our Malaysian currency is divided by 7 or 8 nowadays.
Correct, yeah.
Spain, man. But they still do a good job. So one thing when you look out for Amalgam is the level of details. One thing I can point out is later, I don't know if you can do a close-up shot of the steering area.
Maybe, Kumar, you can lift it up, show it to the fans.
Like the steering wheel area, you can see the details are all in...
And Eugene can point out all the details.
Yeah, in the small details. Like, for example, the steering wheel rack. If you buy mini champs, right, in the latest era, all the steering wheels are the same, regardless of which team. Amalgam, they go down to the fine details, so including they don't just do one line for the antennas. So even the small details inside the driver's cockpit, they pay attention to. So that's where it stands out when you take a deep dive. And
So it's done by Amalgam workers, right? By hand?
Yes, all are sculpted by hand. Every one of them. The resin is done by all the hand built.
So you guys out there who do not know Amalgam is actually because the king of diecast collection.
Their 1.8s and 1.4s are considered the Rolexes of the world.
Yeah, it's the Rolex of diecast. So you guys there who got no spare cash, you start with Hot Wheels. But if you have more than that, you can go to Amalgam.
But that's how I started as well. I started with Hot Wheels. So as a kid, my dad bought me the 164 Michael Schumacher ones. Sadly, I don't have them now, but when you grow up, you start looking for better ones.
6,000 ringgit for that. My goodness. I don't think I've ever had a collection that expensive before, except my wing. I had a rear end plate that I sold for 10,000 ringgit.
Wow.
Actual end plate of a Toro Rosso.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sadly, I can't.
Yeah. Okay. So that is a scale of 118.
Right.
Okay. So if you were to sell today 6,000 ringgit, how much you buy it for?
When I bought it, the currency was slightly more favorable. It was pre-COVID. So before the currencies dropped, it was around, I think, 4,000 to 5,000.
4,000 to 5,000. Oh, so it's still incremental value there.
I contacted Amalgam. I told them that because they sold them without the Marlboro stickers. I said, I want the Marlboro stickers. They said, "Sir, we send it to you with the Marlboro stickers. You can apply it yourself." I was like, "Are you kidding me? I'm paying X amount of money."
Yes. We discussed this about it in the last episode, remember?
Yeah.
When liveries were not able to be flashed in merchandises in Europe,
Right.
it was actually a policy. So it applied in a lot of races too, right? So did you get them to do it for you?
Yes, I wrote them an email saying that I will not buy this unless you apply the decals on for me. And, they deliberated and finally they said, fine, for a small fee, we will do it. We will ask their master crafters, the detailers, yes, correct, to apply them on for you. I would say, yep, do it.
That's good.
Yeah, otherwise I don't think I would have applied it with such precision. But fun fact, I actually applied the Marlboro liveries on the GP replicas behind. I don't think I did such a good job.
The key, I think, with merchandises, even for team wears or even diecast in Formula One, the Tabacco livery is the king.
Right. That's the iconic one.
The value of the diecast, even the team wears with Tabacco is more expensive, hands down.
But for like teamwear, even for t-shirts and whatnot, they always sell without.
Yeah.
How do you get them on?
Team issue. Kumar, you want to tell him about team issue?
Yeah, team issue is basically, a team. They will have a marketing team, which only sells to these exclusive VIPs or people personnel themselves. So when you look at those eras, when you have West Mclaren, you have Benson and Hedges, those you cannot buy outside. You can only get it from the team marketing or people that you know inside. Other than that, you will not be able to buy at all.
This is very dangerous information, bro. I wish you didn't tell me that. Nowadays, I'm gonna go after this. I'm gonna Google for team issue stuff.
I have one. Do you want? It's your size. Rothmans Williams.
So team issue, I used to organize a lot of Formula One events. So this is how I got to know about team issues. Team issues, usually Marlboro stickers or West stickers or even Camel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So those Tabacco liveries are only dedicated for team personnel and drivers. So even if you were to get a team issue, let's say from Ferrari, they actually have a hidden barcode. So you can actually see in the labels saying it's not for sale.
Yeah. Okay, so that's how you tell.
Yeah. So the price of that is totally different. Even a Puma team issue driver's polo, it will be for sale for about 700 euros. And the material itself that you use is different.
Wow. Okay. Today I learned many new things today on the podcast. maybe stuff that my wife wouldn't be happy to do.
She don't know. She don't need to know, bro. Don't share the link.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I used to collect. I used to collect a lot of team issues. So I bought a team issue 2007 Kimi Raikkonen long sleeve shirt when I was in Melbourne. I bought it for 1,000. So that was handed down directly from the mechanic.
Wow. Wait, sorry, 1,000 ringgit? Aussie. Oh, wow. That's crazy.
And I still have it today.
Fantastic.
You understand? Usually he's waiting.
My funds are exhausted.
Yeah, on the table.
You can still re-exhaust it back.
You can do barter trade too,
I can talk later.
Yeah.
So, talking about, we have checked out the Amalgam, but what makes you buy this Senna and also the Pros?
The reason why I bought the cars that are on display here is because they are the most dominant. They typically, if you're a fan, you watch the season, they might seem very boring. But when you look back in history, these are cars that are iconic. Senna and Prost together won all but one race. Last year, Max and Perez, they won all but one race. These are cars that, when you're watching, you'll be like, "Lama, they win again, boring." Yeah. But when you look back in the history, you be amazed at how they're so good. They manage to execute every weekend. Like when you see Red Bull, they come, everybody on the surface level, you will see, they come and they dominate everything. But how much work they put inside, how much dedication, how much testing to make sure that they are on the dot every single race weekend to win, to be at the front of the qualifying, to be ahead of everybody else. And sometimes even they're just so far developed. So the dedication, greatness basically is very inspiring to me. So that's why I go after these models. Yeah.
So I was looking at comparing this car, and this is 1988, right?
Right.
And this is 2020.
Right.
21. So 20, sorry.
20.
Well, maybe you put it side by side, and then the our viewers can actually see the difference.
This is Hamilton, right?
Yeah, this is Hamilton.
Sir Lewis Hamilton.
I think one very prominent thing that you can see is maybe the size of the car,
The length, yes.
the length of the car, and the width of the car.
The base are the same size. So that alone is a very good comparison. You can see that the W11, this is 4 years ago already. It occupies the full base now compared to such a small, short, simplistic. So Formula One cars previously are more agile and nimble. You know, they used to dart around left and right around the track. But nowadays, you don't see them do that anymore because they occupy the whole of the track. So, and also, I think the most obvious is aerodynamics. Aerodynamics has taken over in the last 30 to 40 years. Last time, aerodynamics used to be you put one wing in front, one wing behind, and then they hope black magic occurs, and then somehow the car sticks to the ground. That's their limited knowledge. Today with CFD, with wind tunnel, they can understand it better, so they can put sticky uppy bits, and they put all the little funny little things that makes it look like alien technology sometimes. But that's to channel airflow and to make the car more efficient, stick to the ground, or go around the corners faster.
So you guys out there who just followed F1 recently, you should actually revisit the history of F1.
Yep.
Because F1 is not just the current season, but it's actually a development from previous seasons and what they've learned through accidents, through driver feedback, and also through a lot of other major developments that car manufacturers wanted to see. So from the history of F1, we are introduced in the commercial side of things.
Yep.
Anti-locking brake systems, ABS, carbon fiber. Also, diffusers are all introductions that were actually firstly used in Formula One.
Right, and that's a good point actually, because back then in 1988, safety was not a main priority. The reason why the cars are so big and so long nowadays is also due to safety. If you can see just the front area where the drivers are seated, they have a much bigger crash zone now. The reason why they are longer is also due to safety. You're absolutely right. That evolution is not only technology in terms of speed, it's also for driver safety. Last time, if during this era you were driving an F1 car, you're putting your life on the line. One crash, broken legs. Today, you can see drivers walk away even from a fireball.
Yeah.
So safety has advanced so much, including the halo. That's also saved quite a lot of lives. So you're absolutely right. There is a lot of technology and also evolution that can be discovered. I think that's where, if you dive deep, go down the rabbit hole of Formula One, that's where it gets very interesting.
So Kumar, maybe you can share with the fans a little bit about how safety has evolved in F1.
A lot. Like Eugene said, from the back of the car to the front of the car, even the tires, they have their safety mechanism. Even the cockpit, the monocoque, the tub itself is highly, like he said, aerospace technology. So you cannot find this or you cannot buy this. You go and crash your car for more than 300 kilometers an hour, 280, Spa, Eau Rouge, Monza, Marcus Ericsson had the tumble, remember that? Right. You know how the halo saved Max from 51G impact and also the crash in Monza. So this is all the testament of proving that how the crash from those days, if you look at Donnelly, in those days, when he had a crash, he almost died. He fractures his leg and everything. Like this car, you see here, the impact or the structure is so thinner compared to this car. I mean, the current generation of hybrid cars and the previous generation of dinosaurs. So you don't get that. There's no safety net at all. I mean, look at it. You just go inside and then drive. That's all. So
you name a few popular incidents where it took place and the Drivers Association formulated new ideas and new technology on how to improve safety.
No, there was a reason in 80s and 90s, Senna was driving towards safety, but people were not listening to them, not listening to him. If you remember the Mexican GP, he had multiple roles.
Yes.
So even at that Grand Prix, he went to the stewards, he went to the FIA together with Dr. Sid Watkins to inform that this is too dangerous already. And also the barriers, the technology between the barriers, the gravel, all evolved eventually during the years until now. Tech-pro barriers that we have today is so safe and so easy to reposition it back. Those days, once you hit it, that's it. You're going to bounce, either you bounce or you just fly. So that's the difference between not only the car, the track, the material that you wear, the gloves, the suits, the helmets, even the pedal inside the car, the safety net of the monocoque, everything is different. It's not the same anymore. And this is a multi-billion, trillion-dollar business, you see. So, of course, they want it to be at the best.
My understanding, safety was actually evolved from Michael's crash in Silverstone, 1999, where he broke his Senna's fatal crash, 1994, right, in Imola. And then who burnt the other day?
Romain Grosjean's
crash. And then there was also a tire impact, which the halo was introduced.
Right.
Yeah, I forgot whose crash was that. And then
that was our Jules Bianchi. Yes.
Jules Bianchi.
Luca 2014. It's 10 years anniversary. Eh?
Yeah. Then Massa's crash was also quite
2009 Hungary.
Alonso's one where he flipped a few times. Yes. Yeah, that was on a McLaren.
Australia. Yeah. 2016.
Yes. So all this were taken into account on making Formula One a lot safer than how it was in the 80s and 90s.
All right, that's a really good point, because today all cars have to pass a crash test. They design their carbon monocoque around the drivers to withstand impacts of whatever it can take, the rolls, the crashes, front impact, side impact. In fact, I don't think they used to do that in 1980 during Senna's time. So that was being pushed. So it's fantastic when you dive deep into every bit of technology put into the car. You discover so many things. Safety alone, we've been talking so much about it already.
Oh, you see, okay, just a fun fact. Okay, I know that Formula One is more famous than IndyCar and Champ Cars, those days we call it. But do you know that the technology came from IndyCar?
Which part?
Halo.
Yeah, Halo is from IndyCar.
Oh, and now Red Bull technology is the one supplying those Halo technology to IndyCar.
I see, but
most
car they use aeroscreen.
Aeroscreen, yes, they're supposed to introduce aeroscreen for F1, but they didn't.
Right,
because of the view and all that. I mean, it won't look good for Formula One cars with the aeroscreen, but the technology came from there.
I see.
All the safety, and if you look at the current hybrid cars, their aerodynamic is quite simple. They wanted to follow IndyCar actually. I mean, if you just compare, it's just a fun fact. It's nothing to do with trying to say that IndyCar is better than F1. No, it's just that I'm saying that the technology actually came from America.
That's good. I mean, I'm all for better safety.
Yes.
And if they are able to borrow, they are able to share technology.
Yeah. If you know, IndyCar is more wild.
Yes.
No traction control, no power steering.
The ovals are crazy.
Yeah, the ovals are crazy. And then, yes, the number of deaths are there, but it has been controlled. It's very less nowadays due to the technology that they introduced back then.
I see. But it's also good that like F1 nowadays, you do not hear any stories of drivers breaking necks. Schumacher broke his leg. Häkkinen suffered a injury where he had to be out for a couple of months due to his accident. Massa was the one you pointed out. Senna passed away on the same weekend with one other driver.
Yeah.
So was it Badger? Right. So today's crashes, you see all the insane rolls and flicks. I think it's Zhou Guanyu in Silverstone.
Yeah. Someone flew in the air in Melbourne. Who was it? Was it Ralf Schumacher?
2001.
Yeah, 2001.
Took a flight.
Yeah, Valencia.
But they walk away from all this. I don't think you'll be able to walk away from these crashes.
You can only see minor crashes, but even that minor injuries, even that is because of drivers. They're not supposed to hold the steering. So when you crash, if you're still holding the steering, the impact will surely kena your tangan.
Sure, Ricciardo,
yeah.
Talking about safety also, since we're in the subject of safety, I think there was also a controversial issue about tires in US GP when they wanted to put the little corner when Bridgestone and Michelin tires would fail if they didn't put it. That was controversial. Upon the warm-up lap, they all pitted. And it was a huge parade because there was only 6 Bridgestone runners.
Right, that was the iconic GP where they took a photo of the grid and just there were 6 drivers on the.
Yeah, you remember now.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
So that was also a crucial moment on how people actually gambled on safety in Formula One. So that's the flip of the coin. So always remember, motorsports is a dangerous business.
Right.
You can put your driver's life at stake as well as the spectators, as well as your technicians, your mechanics. Mechanics also got into trouble at the pit stop.
Yes. Most of the time
they ran over their toe or something.
Correct. It's all about, perfection, like Eugene said. When you come into the box or you exit the box, you need to be perfect. That's why they do the practice all the time.
Yeah.
So the reason all those sensors are there is to determine whether you are in the safe zone or not. When you are releasing the car, whether it's safe to release the car or wait for another car to come first, or positioning of the mechanics. And mechanics play a huge role actually in, to ensure that everybody's safe around that area. And fire extinguisher, some people say, just a thing that is just sitting there doing that thing. But the amount of help, and then also the way it helps you to reduce the fire, the ignite. And you can see in Grosjean's crash in 2020 how the car was split in half. And then the fire extinguisher actually at least helped him a bit, from burning out more than
just
what it's supposed
1
to be.
to 2 seconds. So that
man.
it makes a big difference from between life and death.
Yeah, and at that part, they also introduced another safety regulation after that. So what happens then, when you crash, your fuel cell and your monocoque will be separated. It won't be intact anymore. Before that, it was all intact together, fuel cell and the monocoque. But now, no. When you crash heavily, the car will be split into half. That's why you see in Monaco, Mick Schumacher, when he crashed, the car just easily broke off like a Tamiya car. There's a reason for that.
Yeah,
they don't want it to ignite.
Yeah, so you're saying they even design pieces to break off intentionally.
Yes, man.
So it's not so much as, so some parts like the driver cockpit is completely secure and solid, whereas some parts where it's dangerous to the driver,
it just split off.
Fantastic.
Again, aerospace technology.
Safety, when it comes to safety, even to buckle a driver in the car, you require the mechanics. You cannot buckle yourself up yourself. You need two people to buckle yourself, because it's not a 3-point system like the cars. How many points is it? Safety belt?
Six.
There you go. So that is also interesting. And when it comes to safety, also guys, remember, Formula 1 drivers are supposed to exit the car within how many seconds?
20 seconds.
Yes. If they don't pass that requirement, they can't drive the car.
Wow. I think it evolved actually from 20 to 10. The current regulation is 10.
10 seconds?
Yes, 10 seconds, if I'm not wrong.
The current buckle you in, but one person to get out within 10 seconds.
It's just very quick release. And then you're off.
Fantastic.
So that is also essential. So before you are issued the super license, you will have to go through this stringent test by FIA, and if you are cleared, then only you can race.
And we look at the safety cars every time, whenever even a little bit of gravel or carbon fiber debris are on the track, they will either virtual safety car, or red flag throws. Why? What's the reason? Because carbon fiber is very sharp, and also the debris, if you get into the car, it will unstabilize your car, it will damage your car. Floor, anything is possible. So the moment there is anything on the track, and people will say, "Alamak, sikit safety car." But actually, there's a reason. These cars are not cheap.
Yes.
So even a bird could damage your whole $1 million car. So there's a reason for that, why they do that. And if you look at the Chinese GP yesterday, they were on fire, literally on fire. I know there was some issue about that, right?
Yeah.
Because the quality of the grass.
Yes.
It's actually not the original grass. It's not organic grass.
Artificial grass.
Artificial grass. So
that makes sense.
due to the spark, it ignited.
Right.
That was, oh wow. I thought it was because the heat. No.
Right.
It is the sparks that, caused it.
Yeah, I thought global warming was...
Yeah, man.
I was like, save the dolphins. Stop the cars. Don't stop racing anymore.
Okay. Another important part I want to ask you, Eugene. You love this 90s, 80s era, right?
I do, yes.
Okay. So what is the difference, and how did it evolve from 80s to that famous active suspension, and why it got banned?
Active suspension was like a cheat code. So they automatically adjusted the suspension to give you the perfect traction you need at the time. So at that time, technology was welcome to Formula One. Formula One has always been on the leading edge of technology. But active suspension, when discovered by Williams, was the cheat code. The drivers no longer have to adjust the car. They no longer have to be the ones who make sure that the car is on the edge. When you're on the limit, the car, Michael Schumacher always described as the car is always about to kena buang. The car is just about your.
He loved that way, man.
Right.
Loved that way.
So that is what the driver is paid to do. You risk your life, you push all the way to the limit, and you find the 10th of a second. What active suspension brought during that time where technology is not so advanced, it was the cheat code. So when you go through the corner, you just turn the steering wheel, the active suspension adjusts your tires, and you find the grip much faster and better than the next car. So they didn't want that. So they did away with that technology after Williams just completely dominated the season. I mean, it's not the level of Red Bull or McLaren domination. You can't measure that, but in every race, they were so far ahead in qualifying, maybe like yesterday's sprint qualifying where he was 1.2 seconds ahead. And then when the race started, he just ran away with it. So the FIA decided that, we want to level the playing field. They did away with the active suspension. They shifted the focus to building technology elsewhere. And that's where aerodynamics started to take into play. That's where Adrian Newey gained his...
So are you saying that Alain Prost was smart to make a move to Williams and then just retire after that? And when Senna joined in, all those was banned.
Well, they don't call Alain Prost the professor for that. He calculates every move. He can.
I agree, man.
Senna is a guy that is like a fire, He sees fire and he just catches like a the forest fire, the wind comes.
Yeah, it just goes all the way.
Yeah. Prost is a tactician. He can see, he calculate. His championships won is when he's in the best car. There's no doubt about it. He can maximize his car. Senna is just pure talent.
That's why I wanted to come to that.
Right.
He recently mentioned that Max had no competition at all, and that championship is undervalued. But I would say the same to him.
Right.
When he was dominating for active suspension. So it's all the same. History repeats itself.
Exactly.
Technology helps one another. Like, W11 had the dust system.
Yes.
Everything, flexible wings and stuff like that. It is there and will always be there. Formula One is like, going around the loophole.
Yes.
How do I make the car faster?
Yep.
Without the touching the rule book.
Right. So guys, when we talk about safety as well as elements of cars, in every era, there is one element of the car that one team does better than the other. And this actually leads to dominance in all the eras, actually. You're right. We're talking about active suspension. Yes. We're talking about diffusers. We're talking about flexible wings.
Right.
So all these made an important role, and it's actually down to the aerodynamics to actually determine what sort of advantages can they seek to get that 2/10, 3/10, 4/10 of a second quicker and faster. And this is where Mr. Adrian is very, very good at.
Right. But in the early domination of Mercedes, it was their engine. They grasped the concept of their hybrid and also their basically their hybrid power engine, and they were so far ahead that recently, they start coming up with stories that people started opening up about their domination and saying that in the early Mercedes domination, they had to turn down their engine power because they were
70%. They were just using 70%.
70%.
Yeah. They were not using 100%.
The W05, 06, 07, they won. They all won maybe all but 2 or 3 races. But the reason why I bought the W11 is because this is the crowning glory of the Mercedes generation. These cars were on rails. If you watch them, they're like Max today. They drive around the track like they're on rails. They're like a train. They just go through the track.
So again, if there are people out there that say Red Bull era is boring, Michael's era is boring, Lewis era is boring, Sebastian Vettel's era is boring, this will happen again. Next, which is the next driver, we don't know. But this will keep happening. I mean, the driver that has the most fire, the car that has the most aerodynamic efficient engine rules are changing, coming up again. So everything will play a part. It's just a matter of time that who gets lucky with the concept.
Also, in sport, domination is there. Yeah, domination is no stranger to sports. I mean, you look at Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
You look at PSG, Barcelona, and Real Madrid. Bayern Munich until recently, they've all stood atop for a long time. Domination is always been there,
and people will criticize that. I mean,
But then when they look back in the history books, they'll be like, "Oh, this team." So and then they start appreciating the minor details.
So sometimes domination is good. For the team and driver that's involved, domination is good. But for spectators, it might be a little bit boring.
Because they don't appreciate the value of technology, the value of effort that people put in, the sleepless nights, or Adrian flying from here, there, here, there, here, there. The team flying from not only I'm talking about Red Bull. It's about the whole Formula One team by itself. They actually are winning now. Formula One is such a popular sport or business, shall I call it, in worlds. It is actually benefiting the whole grid. It's not just the dominated team.
Yep. And I think it is not an overnight success. Formula One is a culmination of years and years of working together. Their team, Christian Horner, Adrian Newey, Max Verstappen, they've stuck it through the Mercedes domination. They only split. They worked hard on every aspect to make sure that they can challenge the juggernaut that was Mercedes at that time. And now we can see the fruits of the labor where Mercedes are stumbling. You can see that the repetition is getting them to where they are, and we are actually starting to see that with Ferrari. We criticize Ferrari a lot, especially in, I think, 2022.
Ferrari basically is, again, we've covered this many times. It's all because of mismanagement, right? They've changed team principals countless times. They've changed race engineers countless times. So there's no consistency. There's no consistency, anything that you do, be it business, be it school, be it anything, you fumble.
Right. And I think that's also the key as to why Alonso doesn't win as many championships as he should have, considering his talent. He wasn't able to stick it through with the team long enough. But you are seeing the process today with Norris, with Leclerc. They recognize this is the pathway to success. I think Hamilton should sort of pave the way for that. You stick to a team, you be loyal, you make sure that you get the most out of it. And with that type of synergy and understanding, maybe we will see Leclerc or Norris dominate one day as well.
Yes.
So it's just a matter of time. When you get it right, you get it right.
Right. Yeah.
So people out there who criticize Red Bull, go ahead. I'm by no means. But again, you need to be, if you're a Formula One fan, you need to be more appreciative towards what kind of hard work they deal with. With the newer DTS generation of fans that we have, they like mixture of fights, like how it was in 2021. But in order for us to get that, wait for 2026 because of the rules that is coming up. So if the rules are favoring Ferrari or maybe Mercedes even or Aston or what do you call this, Alpine, you never know. Maybe they will dominate the next 10 years.
Yeah, and we got a bit of the close championship fight in early 2022 where we saw Max and Leclerc very close to each other until the rule sort of was adjusted for, I think, the bottoming out and porpoising. But sometimes the stars align and you get a season like 2021 where you battle.
Which season was it that they had the bouncing issue?
The first generation of ground effect cars, 2022.
That's one.
Yeah, 2022. So what happened was,
ran on for a couple of races, right?
Correct.
A season.
Ferrari were the team to had the best minimum bounce compared to other teams, and also Red Bull. They managed it very well. But throughout halfway through the season, Mercedes complained that it's too dangerous.
Right.
Due to the proposing and the bouncing and all that. So FI had to take action just because Mercedes complained about safety. Against safety. It's due to safety reasons. So they adjusted the minimum height, right? Yep. To ensure that Mercedes are able to come back to the fight, and also for other teams as well, which are not able to get into points or fight for the midfield pack. So again, they can do the changes of the rules in between also, no issues, if it's pertaining to safety. So that's what happened when proposing or the bouncing was there. It was quite critical due to the back pain that the drivers were suffering back then.
I think Toto was politicking slightly.
Yeah.
Ferrari was actually porpoising a lot.
Yeah, man.
But they were on par with Red Bull with the porpoising.
Yes.
Mercedes, I think until today we could see that they're
still suffering. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're suffering from that, and with the technical directive changes, it actually was in favor of Red Bull. It was the opposite effect of what they intended, and we're seeing Max 1.
Yes,
on the truck.
exactly.
I find it very funny during that period, right? Because all drivers were on the radio. My bum is hurting. My bum's hurting. Please do something about it.
And they all come out, especially the older drivers, they say their back is gone.
My back's gone.
It's not their tires gone, their backs are gone.
So prior to that, we see those winglets and stuff like that. It's all sticking into the body, the wings, and also the suspension. But now it's all the floor. You get the floor right, you nailed it. I mean, you're going to have the best tie deck, best long run pace, from the ground effect itself. If you look at this car, the dashboard itself is so tricky. How the hell a common man would understand this?
It looks like alien technology. It really does.
You cannot understand what is going on.
Yeah, so talking about aerodynamics in Formula One, you guys out there who are not familiar, aerodynamics of Formula One is the opposite of flight. So when you have lift, you can fly, right? In Formula One is the opposite.
Yeah.
So if you put a Formula One car in a wind tunnel upside down, it will stick because of the downforce, because it's the opposite angle of flight. So this is important when it comes to downforce. And all these elements have actually developed across the seasons.
Actually, you're absolutely right. The first concept of wings in Formula One cars, they actually took airplane wings and just turned them.
Yes. Reverse
correct
science.
And not many teams also have wind tunnels, right?
Correct. Yeah, not many. Those who with heavy pockets, they do have wind tunnels. Those without heavy pockets, they borrow wind tunnel from Toyota.
Yeah, borrow from Toyota.
Yeah. Toyota has the best facility in German. That even teams like Mclaren were using it. Haas was using it. And also some midfield teams which don't have wind tunnel, they were borrowing Toyota's wind tunnel.
Even Toro Rosso was actually borrowing from Milton Keynes, Red Bull factory. They didn't have their own in Toyota.
Yeah, exactly. So if I were to ask you now, the era that you want the Formula One to go back to, which one would it be?
I would say we should go back to 2004 with slick tires.
Thank you.
My favorite era. It's not because Michael was winning. 2003 was an interesting championship, but I enjoyed it better when the cars don't pass by DRS and they are more nimble, more agile, where when you go into a corner, there are 3 lines you can take. Today, maybe there's 2 lines because the cars are so wide. They eat up so much space. In Monaco, it's a procession.
So coming back to your point that you said that the cars were more lighter, more easier to overtake. That is my exact feeling when I asked F1, why the hell you change the regulation when the cars were so good? They were overtaking. 2003 was Open Championship, bro. Even 2005 was Open Championship. 2006 as well. Michael almost won it.
Yeah, it went all the went down.
When you have all that overtaking, mixture of team and manufacturers fighting each other, but now you see the it's all about technology and also the ground effect and also the aerodynamic. You're not getting the spectacle that we used to get.
Well, hopefully in 2026, the plan is they would swing the car slightly.
Yeah.
So maybe we have hope in the future.
Hopefully. They wanted to change the tire diameters as well.
Right.
From 18 to 16. They scrapped it. Yeah. It's supposed to be 15. They jumped to 18. The teams wanted 16. Oh, sorry. The FI wanted 16. Team rejected due to safety reason.
Oh.
So they stick it to 19.
Actually, visually, I prefer bigger tires. They look more menacing with bigger tires.
Smaller tires make it look very awkward.
That's why I love this era and also our 90s and Michael's era. They were just amazing. The sculpture of the body, the agility of the car, how small they compact the driver's seat position, and when they drive, you can see their eyes, going into the corners. You guys should watch those old videos. I mean, you want to appreciate Formula One, go to the old ones, and then you come back to the new era.
And the old ones are also the eras where there's a lot of sparks.
Oh, yes.
Because they always bottom up. Bottom up.
Another reason why those days there were more competition is due to the tires. Simple. Michelin, Bridgestone, they had a combination of rivalry. Pirelli is just doing what FI wants it to do. They want a tire that can degrade faster, the tire that cannot last longer. Whoever had the best management wins.
Right.
And the car itself.
Yeah. During the 2004 season, I think Michael Schumacher did the French GP with 4.
That was 2002.
2002, right?
Yeah, 4 stops.
4 stops, and every stint was a qualifying lap. Basically, he was required to do qualifying laps for the whole race.
Yes, man. That was amazing. He dropped to 7th and then came back to win the race by 4 stops.
Yeah, if you thought Hamilton's feat in, I think, 2021, where he did Brazilian GP, he overtook the whole field. That was amazing. You go back to 2002, you watch Michael Schumacher do 4 stops and overtake more.
But you need to appreciate one more thing, bro. Michael did it purely based on the car that he had at that point of time. You have to remember that those days, your race engine is different, your qualifying engine is different, and you are allowed to change engine every weekend.
That's true.
But what happened in Brazilian GP, that Bottas was testing upgraded engines for Hamilton. So the whole field did not have the fresh engine except for Hamilton. So he could go bonkers on the engines and the car. Yeah. That's why he just overtook the field like nobody's business. People don't see that, but I must tell. I mean, that is a fact. It was a new engine in that car, and then Honda was just using 4 engines that season.
Right.
They didn't have failure at all. And Mercedes had multiple failures testing with Bottas. So they upgraded the engine back then.
Sure.
From race to race.
So basically, they gave him. It's like you get a fresh fruit versus you get
rotten. Almost dead.
Oh no. Okay, so with that, we'll come back to segment 2 and we'll discuss another model that you brought today.
Sure.
Okay, guys, stay tuned. Thank you. Guys, my name's Haris.
We are back here again. I'm Kumar.
And I'm Eugene.
Yes. Okay, so we covered the initial era of 80s and 90s. Senna, Mansell, Prost. Okay, so now we are back to, I think, when we were very young boys. Right? So that would be this one here.
Yes, we were in school. I think I was in school then, in secondary school. Were you guys?
Yes.
In school?
Yeah.
I was in uni.
In uni, yeah. In uni already.
Yeah.
So back then, I think we can all remember we watched Formula 1 on Astro, kan? Astro, fun story, just a very segue, I'm sorry. During that time, Astro had a competition. You call in and then you get to win prizes.
Yeah.
There was this telephone challenge. It's a quiz. So at that time, I was a Formula 1 fanatic. So the prize for being the fastest in this, for answering the fastest in answering the thing was a tag wire watch.
Wow! So tag wire watch.
Yeah, tag wire watch. So you call in, you answer. If you're the fastest, you get a tag wire watch, and you be in the running to win another tag wire watch, which is the F1 special limited edition. But if you win the first, every week they will run, and if you win the first week or second week or third week, you already get a tag wire watch. So that time, we're all F1 fanatics. I was in high school, nothing else better to do, right? So what I did was I kept calling in and I kept trying to answer up to a certain point where when I heard the first two sentences of the first question, that they normally, I think it's about 3 or 5 questions, I would know the sequence of answers. So they will go, which race did Michael, and I knew the sequence. I'll spam 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3. Eventually, they announced the winners. I won the tag wire watch.
Wow. And you still have the watch now?
I do. At first, my dad won it. My dad was like, oh, he was an Astro customer. We went for the event. And then you stand in the running to win, I think, a 10K watch, tag wire watch. And all you have to do is just to write a script, like in a 10 word or something like that. Why F1 is good to you, that kind of thing. I call that one, bro. I cannot. It wasn't a quiz. I was like, if I go in there, I have to answer to essay. Essay. Cannot, but yeah, I still have the tag wire watch. So that era, I think, was one of the most memorable.
That's good, because I think this is the era where a lot of technology also evolved, and also it showed the world on how Michael was not just a brilliant driver, but a thinking driver.
Sure.
The way he drove, the way he raced, the way he developed a team, the way that he promoted the sport in general.
Yeah, Michael Schumacher was a special type of champion. Every champion is different. Recently, I listened to a podcast by James Vowles. He worked with Hamilton. He's worked with Michael Schumacher. He said the most talented driver he's ever worked with is Lewis Hamilton. No doubt, hands down. But Michael Schumacher was a special breed. When he drives in a team, he doesn't just drive the car. A lot of drivers today, they just get in, they do their job, and then they go home, they party. On Instagram you can see all sorts.
Yes.
But Michael Schumacher, he was a student to F1. He would make friends with his mechanics. He would get to know you personally, and many occasions, James Vowles says that he would come up to him and say, "Hey, how's your partner? How's your family doing?"
Yeah.
And he would do that not because he knows he wants you to be on his side. He has this gravity around him where you want to work for him. You want to make sure that he is the most successful, and he does that by getting to know you personally. He knows every one of his mechanics, their wives' birthdays, their kids' birthdays. You often celebrate, take them out. Like James Vowles, he said that he loves cars. Michael just one day went up to him and said, "Let's go on a track date," and it was one of the best times they ever had. So Michael Schumacher, his dedication it just goes beyond just driving the car. It's the testing, his engineers, his team principle. He wins so well because he sticks together. I think he lays the blueprint for all the champions today. He brought Rory Byrne, John Todt, Ross Brawn. He told Ferrari, I won't come in unless I can assemble my team. You know, that was that. I think the early 2000s. That was the Avengers. You know, you got your Iron Man, you got your Thor, you got your you got your Nick Fury, and John Todt is sitting up there. So he assembled the super team, and they tried. You know, Michael Schumacher was not free of controversy. 1994, how in the last races he crashed multiple times. You know, but that's what's special about him. You know, that makes him human, and that's what really excites me about him.
Okay, you mentioned earlier that hands down, Lewis Hamilton is the best.
Yep.
Okay, so I want to ask, in what angle do you think comparing Michael to Lewis is best?
Well, from what James Vowell said, Lewis Hamilton, he basically is like an octopus on the steering wheel. You know, when he drives the time, he will just switch everything. You know, engineer wants everything to be consistent. He wants to switch everything. But Michael Schumacher, he's more of a repetition kind of guy. You know, he goes through 100 times, then he finds the thing that makes it good. Lewis Hamilton, he's more naturally talented. He goes in, he knows what to do.
Okay, if that's the case, Michael joined Ferrari 96.
Sure.
He brought that shitbox to multiple World Championship winning car. Whereas Hamilton, he was already in a World Championship winning car.
Yeah.
So how would you define that as talent?
Talent comes in multiple forms, bro.
Right.
Talent can be the eyes to spot which team is able to go fast at a time. So
you jump the ship when the team is better. That is your talent.
Similarly, what Kumar said, what's going to happen next year? It's going to a good team because there's new ranks.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know what is James Vowell's opinion, but if you ask me, Hamilton is good in a good car. He's good in a good car. He's not good when he's down. I mean, the car is down. Definitely no. Yeah. Like Michael, he can still win in a bad car. 2000.
There is one drive that I remember Michael did, right? He drove the car entire race with just one gear.
Just one gear?
And also Senna, he had a bad car, he can win. Lotus.
Yep.
You know, Mika Hakkinen, he can win.
Right.
In a unreliable West Mclaren Mercedes back then.
Yep.
Like Villeneuve, you know, in 1996 when he joined Williams, they had so much of team orders and stuff like that, but then he still fight the team to win few races. I mean, you need to have that raw feeling of talent, lah, bro. Sorry, lah. You know, if you don't like it, it's fine. But for me, I would still keep Michael at the highest.
Sure. Schumi, for me, is a thinking driver.
Yeah.
I started watching when he was in 1997 season. Then he progressed to 98 and 99. Mika and Michael had their duels together. I think that was a very good our introduction to a good era. Then he went on to 2000, like you said. He brought in a fantastic team. He choreographed their team fantastically, fabulously, and I would second Kumar as well. When you say he is an opportunist when he went to Mercedes. Mercedes was actually developed not by him, right?
Well, was already under development in 2009, bro. Michael and the team.
Braun GP platform went into Mercedes.
Yep.
And then they had the diffusers. Diffusers worked, and then after Nico and Michael worked the team out again with Ross Brawn and Nick Fry.
Yep, agreed, completely agreed. Even James Vowell said most of the development, the platform was done by Michael. The rewards were read by
and to straighten my view and our view. Back then there was no social media, but people know who is Ayrton Senna. People know who is Michael. Compared to now, when you have all that, fabulous social media, that you only promote one driver.
Okay, guys. So basically, we are not anti-Lewis fans here, right? Okay, but we are talking factual things.
Yes.
Okay, these are based on facts.
I love Lewis Hamilton.
Vettel, Alonso, Max Verstappen, Michael goes to racetracks, right? Dressed in team wear. Lewis Hamilton goes to tracks wearing Tommy Hilfiger sponsorship shirts. He wears blinks.
I mean,
it's a dog
maybe
track.
maybe because of the sponsors, that he has a lot of sponsors, that he had to do that. Maybe, we don't know what is his obligation towards his contract. Even when he signed up for Ferrari, he had a big terms in marketing, meaning to say, I also want ambassadorship in outside Formula One.
Yeah, bro, this is the part where his talent is really shines. No?
Yeah.
He's setting his stage for his life passport.
Exactly.
So I agree with you in that part. His talent, he's able to spot. That's why he signed with Ferrari as well.
Yep.
He's able to lay out his pathway so that he's...
Because now the foundation already set by Leclerc, by Sainz, and with Fred Vasseur coming. Fred Vasseur is a very close friend with Hamilton, and also the new CEO of Ferrari.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he is a British. He spoke. He's, right? The new CEO of Ferrari is British. Yeah. So what happened was they spoke in Miami. So that is all the story began.
So there's the British connection over there. Then.
Yeah.
I see. And Hamilton also said, right, he has no talent in... This one thing he has no talent in. He has no talent in language. So imagine an Englishman going to Ferrari. Everybody speaking Italian. I don't know how he's going to go there, but...
Oh, but talking about Italians, I remember the Marinello squad did actually talk to Michael. Every time when he's on the podium, he does this.
Uh-huh.
When the national anthem of the Italian song goes up.
Like he's a conductor.
Yes. So actually the Tifosis didn't like it.
Right.
They told Michael to mellow down. Do not insult our national anthem.
Wow.
Welcome, Lewis Hamilton.
A lot of politics.
No, the moment you shine in Ferrari, the Tifosi will be on your side. The moment you messed it up, like what happened to Alain Prost. Remember, he was kicked out of Ferrari. When he said Ferrari is basically. He's
a Frenchman, right?
Yes, he's a Frenchman. So there something happened, then Ferrari kicked him out. So you need to be careful. I mean, maybe in now current generation of management, maybe they will be lesser on that part. But Hamilton wanted to lay the retirement payout.
Talking about world champions. Sure. If I were to ask you, what is the secret ingredient that you look forward to a world champion, what would it be?
I think the dedication to the sport.
Dedication.
Yeah, dedication to the sport in the sense that basically his life is dedicated to winning. There's no second best to him than Formula One. So
Kumar?
I would say loyalty. First is loyalty, and also your self-reflection. What you show on the track, you are same as well on the paddock, or to the media, or to the world. Not being second phase or third phase or fifth phase or sixth phase or seventh phase with different people, with different marketing, different environment. So the championship material is when you dedicate yourself to the team, when you work along with the team. Do not just complain, and deliver the results. Basically, you can be a world champion in a good team by replicating. I mean, if I put Stroll in W11, he can win championship.
That's no sad reality.
Jokes aside, but yeah, I would say champion should be a role model.
Yeah,
you reflect.
That is what I like. Role model. Michael formulated a role model to a lot of the younger generations. Vettel was young, Max was young, Lewis was young. They all went through his time when he was at the pinnacle of Formula One, and he presented what a world champion should be.
But hang on there, I'm just gonna have to stop you. Schumacher is not without his controversies.
Yes.
All his last lap ditch efforts to crash into his opponent.
Monaco, right? One.
And he parked his car there. I think even today you still see people parking their cars in Monaco, like
replicating.
So Schumacher is also good
controversial.
No, I would say all the champions will have that negativity.
Yeah.
A certain greediness.
Yeah.
To ensure that he takes it all. I mean, 95 was a bit controversy. 96 there was also controversy involved. 97 was the bad when he was disqualified from the championship itself.
That was embarrassing.
Yeah, and then slowly he slowed down. 98, 99. He slowed down. He composed himself. Rebranded himself.
Yeah.
towards championship material, basically. Yeah. You know, he was hot-headed rookie in 1994 and 1995 when he became the champion.
You know, those are very striking similarities to what we see Max Verstappen do. Yeah. In the beginning, he was
he was ruthless.
He was ruthless. He crashed into anybody.
Yeah.
Tried to take his face. But he worked it out, and then now, you know, he's got a level head, and we're seeing the fruits of labor. But you know, to your counterpoint, I've never seen Lewis Hamilton be in that much controversy, like in a last lap crash or anything. He's always played
good.
Yeah. McLaren this, yes, correct. Yeah. Mercedes, maybe not, because he was fighting with Nico. He was hit by Nico in 2016.
Yeah, 2016 was.
He didn't have any challenge though, basically.
Okay. So talking about Schumacher's era, let's talk about the F2004. I think most of the models that you guys see here today are the F2004. There's one in front and there's two here.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to talk about this model in front?
Yeah. The model in front you can see is by Hot Wheels. It's celebrating Schumacher's championship in 2004. They list down his number of poles, his number of race wins, and how many points. Basically, it's Schumacher's crowning glory season. It's his 7th World Championship. Nobody has ever done it before. 5 in a row with Ferrari. I think what he did was unprecedented. Like you said, we have never seen a driver like this before. Dedication, icon, inspiring new generations. I mean, the number of German drivers that came out of F1 after Schumacher was amazing. But today, how many do we have?
But we don't have German GP.
We don't have German GP anymore.
So, the F2004, the models here are basically the peak of Schumacher's era. It was also one of the best times of F1, I believe. I mean, maybe not after 5 years of Schumacher winning. 1990, I think in the 90s all the way up to 2000, 2001 was one of the best era. But I just cannot help but when you look back at the F2004, you just look back at it.
To me, the good thing about F2004 is the shape of the car and the sound of the engine. I really miss the engine.
The
V10s. Okay, FIA, if you're listening to us, please bring back the sound. If you want to don't bring back the engine, it's fine. Tune the engine.
2-stroke coming up, don't worry.
No, I have a suggestion. How about you pasang that sound into the current car? You know,
speaker.
Yeah, you know, electric cars nowadays. When you drive inside, you can have the sound of the car.
Bro, Formula E is fast, you know. Don't play. But Formula E is fast. But 330, you know. Straight.
Silent killers, no. You won't know they are coming.
Imagine they have slick tires on it. You know, now they're using the road related tires, right? Imagine they have slicks on it and go to a proper Formula 1 track and try to challenge Formula 1 cars. I know their aerodynamic is shit. It's nowhere near to Formula 1. But if they do it properly like Formula 1, with proper aerodynamic, I think they can challenge over 1 lap pace.
Talking about F2004, I think there's a private buyer who bought the actual car for, I think, $4 million US.
Oh, I mean, you know, and the funny thing about those cars is they're sold without engines.
Yeah,
sold without
right. Yeah. And you have to Flintstones it.
Yeah,
you have to
right.
But you can put Cosworth inside, bro. Don't worry. Cosworths are there for you to buy. Yes. Actually, they are selling kit cars. You know, they have kit cars in Europe. Basically, you just have the mold of the F2004 or any other track cars that you like. You just put in the Cosworth engine and you go. You will have 15,000 to 60,000 revs, bro. Similar engine sound.
You sound like you have one, bro.
I wish, man.
We're talking about F2004. I think I would say it's one of the iconic cars in Formula 1. Okay, without a doubt. Senna's car is also an iconic car. The Mansell's car is also an iconic car. The Sauber that Haziq brought was also an iconic.
Can I have that Michael's Belgian GP car?
So, guys, Belgian GP is actually the first track that Michael Schumacher won a race. And it also is his favorite track.
And it's also the track that he won his last World Championship in.
Yes.
So somehow funny how everything ties in together.
Yes, like, correct.
So when what do you mean by iconic car, and also why we love this car so much? Just look at the side pod, man. This was one of the first cars to introduce downwash arrow. In 2003, F2003 GA, if you guys know, that car is quite difficult to get as well. Michael's car, F2003 GA. They were the first one to introduce downwash aerodynamic, as you can see from here. This part, downwash, all this. You know, nobody had that clue what to do with this, when Ferrari introduced in Barcelona, 2003. If you look at the current generation of cars, Mercedes have the downwash. If you see the RB19, it has the downwash. So the technology and the pattern remained, and it was actually introduced by Ferrari. That's why we see, when you look at F2004, it looks a perfect Formula 1 car. For me, it's just the perfect Formula 1 car. With the V10, with the aggressiveness, and how agile and nimble this car was, you could just... for me, I would just stare it for hours. And people will be asking me, you stupid, this car.
But the one downside about the F2004 that I don't like has always been the groove tires. The F2004 is owned by, I think, a private collector driving around the tracks nowadays. I think they get a professional racer, maybe Marc Genet or something like that. And then with slick tires, it's been setting records, and it's still as fast as F1 cars.
Agree. Because these were basically introduced to slow down these cars. This car was basically, I mean, if you put F2004 at the current racetrack with this hybrid engine cars, they will kena bully. Definitely.
Yeah.
Sure kena bully one.
So that's the Ruben's car.
This is Ruben's car, and this is the slick tire, the groove tires.
The groove tires that we were talking about, and this is the wet tire basically.
The groove tires were basically introduced just to slow them down. So imagine if they have the slick tires of the 80s or today, they will go so much faster.
The rims is also very nice.
And the most I like about F2004 is the exhaust pipe. Look at the exhaust pipe. The inlets. How is it coming out and going up to the wing?
Right.
To create more
downforce.
downforce.
Of the car is what strikes me the most, because it really looks like a Formula 1 car. The other era cars,
that's why I say this generation of Formula 1 is one of the perfect ones. That's why we cannot get over with it. And if even if for Hot Wheels, if you want to find out in stores nowadays, it's very hard to find. It's memang susah dapat. You cannot find it. Thank God I have two, which is, although it's a basic model, and also one of the special Bahrain GP winner, the first race,
right?
In Bahrain.
I remember
2004.
Yeah. So I'm glad to have that. The other than that is so difficult to find, man. So
bro, you sure?
I only have two F2004s. It's so difficult, man, to find. And many chap doesn't
for
have.
The viewers, how much is a car like this now?
This one, it doesn't cost. Surprisingly, it doesn't cost as much. Retail last time was $70.
70
$70 when it first launched.
Yeah,
people don't really buy it, because they'll be like, it's Hot Wheels. Yeah, and they say it's so expensive. Today, I think if you go check the listings on eBay, they go about easily 300.
300. Wow.
So, I mean, these things are sometimes an investment.
Yeah,
But you bought, that's a bargain, because he bought it for 70 and it's now 300.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot. That's like 4 times more.
And I'm also glad to have Michael's Chinese GP car.
The 91st victory.
Yeah. The last one. Whoever is Formula 1 fan, they need to have Michael. Michael is a must.
I think especially when growing up in our era, this is our F1 car. If you speak to maybe someone who is 20 years older, this is their F1.
Yeah, so it correlates to your age and also the era that you watched the race.
Yeah.
When I was in Citroën in 2004 watching the qualifying laps from all these cars, the moment they upshift, you can feel the vibration on the grandstand, man. When the cars are changing gears, right, going upshift and downshift, that is something you cannot describe. Whoever watches Formula 1 now with the sound that they have is nothing.
Last time you need to go to a race and wear earplugs. Now you don't have to.
No, so now you don't have to. Nah, you can say that. I haven't been to a race.
I was in Singapore with Kumar.
Yeah.
We didn't wear.
The only
Last time you need it.
Yes.
Hands down, you did it.
I was in Melbourne GP for 2009 when I was a student.
I saw you were in Melbourne.
Yes, I was in Melbourne.
So you witnessed Bronze GP's 1-2?
Yes, I was in.
Oh my God,
I felt
so
like halfway through because it was so boring. They dominated that race, but
which grandstand did you go to?
I was near. I was a student. I did the grandstand. I was just on the. I think
about GA.
Yeah, about 10. Yeah.
The GA.
Yes,
the 4-day GA pass.
Correct. Yeah, just general admission, and I just saw Braun. I was like, "Oh, is this white car going fast? Why are they leading the race?"
Okay, let's do a segue about Australian GP.
Sure.
Okay, Australian GP Would you agree with me that the organization is good because it's done on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? It's a 4-day weekend.
Yep.
Not a 3-day weekend.
Right. Australian GP, it's very well run. I agree. They do the whole thing as an event. It's a 4-day event. They market it as a 4-day event. They have the Australian supercars. They have multiple side events. The first thing, I went into Melbourne GP and I was greeted by a paddock, like sort of a paddock where there's a challenge, the reflex challenge.
Yes.
And everybody can go in
the Formula One village now.
Right, yeah, it's a Formula One village now. So I go in there and then it's an experience. You don't go in looking for the grandstand to sit down and watch the cars. The moment you step into the circuit, you go into the weekend, it's a whole Formula One. It's a racing festival, basically. It's insanely well done. I went in and then, I got to do the challenge. The fastest guy on the board was Jenson Button.
Yeah.
Right. And
32 seconds, I think.
Oh, yeah, you remember, yeah?
Yeah, because I studied in Melbourne and I attended the race.
Yes, you attended the race too. Yes, correct. It was Jenson Button. I was so amazed. I was like, F1 drivers, how fast can they be? But then I realized the gap of humans and F1 drivers at that time.
Those days, like what you said, the level of normal people and Formula One drivers is so much difference, man. Look at Sainz. Right. He recovered in one week.
1 week.
If normal person will take 2 to 3 weeks to recover.
So you see, like even for Australian GP, the trams alone, Kumar, was very organized, just like the ones in Singapore that we went.
Yes.
The trams are assigned to each gate. So number 75 or number 100, number 120, they go to gate 1, and then gate 2, then gate 3, gate 4.
Yes.
You go to the track with those gates and you come back with the same tram.
But actually, if you ask me, right, compared to Australia is good, definitely. Even Sepang, the organization or the placement of everything is perfect. It's just that we don't have the right people.
SIC, take note.
And then Singapore GP, when I went for the first time, it was havoc. I don't know which way to go and nobody was assisting me. From left to right, it has the same gate number, which even the guide who is helping me, she missed out the area and then we had to walk back again to the other side. So it's depending on management, like what he said, Australian GP is one of the perfects.
AGC, the Australian Grand Prix Corporation, does a fantastic job all the time.
Right.
I've been to Melbourne, Albert Park, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004.
No wonder Rubens fly.
Yeah. So you got grandstands.
The first year I went to Fangio stand.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Fangio stand was quite good. Then I had the Cloud stand, which is quite good as well.
Yeah.
But after that, I just went for general admission.
I see.
Because general admission, you can walk around the circuit. And this is what I told Kumar. SIC must introduce GA.
Yes.
You introduce GA, even if it's 300 ringgit, you will see fans flocking.
Because you have the whole track for yourself.
But the Sepang have the infrastructure to...
They can do it.
They can do it. You can tarmac the road.
Sepang, the width of the track is so huge, man.
Yeah, but
just like what Ridwan said about Kelapa Sawit.
Yeah.
Just tebang the Kelapa Sawit, put tarmac.
Yeah.
One thing I would say though, the weather and climate is more favorable for Melbourne.
Yes, it's they're very dry though that time.
They're dry, but they're cool.
Yeah,
but
it's not humid.
Sometimes the heavy rain, the torrential rain. If you remember the races,
2009.
Yes.
I remember very well.
Yes.
Yeah, with the broad
half points.
Yeah, half points. So like, but we can take a leaf out of Singapore once again. Like you said, the first time they went there, havoc, massive. But
the best Sepang I would recall would be 2001. When the rain came in between the race, and then everybody was leading. Everybody was leading. From Yano Trulli to Fisichella, everyone was leading the race. And Michael and Rubens, they just choreographed each other and then went off the track. They went to the pits together. They were dead last,
right?
And then they finished the race 1-2.
Yeah, they went on.
Sepang is the only circuit that I see the race engineers take a thermometer, putting it on the road to see what is the track temp.
Yeah.
And then Sepang has the record of having different winners. Not only dominated by one team.
Yeah,
a lot of new winners.
That's because Sepang's weather is like our Malaysian government keep changing. If you remember, there was one race, Schumacher, I think when Kimi Raikkonen was challenging for the race win, Schumacher was the advisor. He said, I think he just looked in the sky, rain pit him. And then there was no rain.
No rain.
Yeah, so it's a reflection.
There's always a dramatic race in Sepang. That's why people, when Sepang had the finale in 2017, they said, "What the hell are you guys doing?"
Right.
That was very emotional, man.
What the hell?
Until now, I'm crying.
Until now.
You see, when they reduced the ticket prices to half of what they used to be, fans flocked.
Yep.
The grandstands were full.
Right.
Not because they wanted to see the last race, but because they said the price was acceptable.
Right.
Bro, if you watch the YouTube channel, those old Formula 1 races in Sepang, the crowd is there, man. The crowd is there.
The crowd is definitely there. I mean, Sepang is one of the most spectacular races, hands down.
To me, it's the only one time that you can see a lot of cars going on the gravel when it rains. Everyone lose control.
And where is your favorite spot for Sepang circuit?
Sepang will be the. I actually like the combination of the main
5-6
and the first few corners. Anywhere after the first few corners is fantastic because there's an opportunity for you to switch back, cut back. You can take multiple lines.
No, I love the Bunga Raya corner.
Bunga
Raya. Yeah.
Oh my god, that you can see the 50% of the track left to the right. I mean, which circuit or which Grand Prix in the calendar you can see 50% of the track at Bunga Raya? I mean, like Bunga Raya.
Turn 4, 5, 6 also quite good because the inclination.
Yeah. So 5, 6, yes, the flat out.
That's also
when Kimi was hit by Pascal Wehrlein.
Yeah, I remember that too. Yes. So yes, Sepang needs to come back on the calendar because not only us, but I think a lot of people in the industry wants to see it back.
Yeah, you will see this a lot in our podcast because we gotta push it. Basically, we will push it.
If we don't have any other medium, we'll use Paddock Show as one of the mediums.
Yeah, I mean, we want the motorsport to come back to Malaysia.
And I think that's how Sepang is home to a lot of historical moments.
Yes.
We saw Sebastian Vettel took his first win with Ferrari.
Yes.
We saw Kimi Raikkonen take his first win with
Everton. Return of Michael and giving way to Eddie Irvine as well.
Yep. Correct. So many moments. Like you said, the figure skating of the Ferrari is on into the track. Go back to last, come back to first.
Only race to have half points as well because of torrential rain.
And fun fact, the bronze were actually flooded so much that if they said the race would continue to restart, their cars wouldn't move. Because it was
because they didn't have the drain in the cockpit.
Yeah.
Only one of the times when you see those Ferrari boys actually wearing the red wigs.
Right. Yeah.
Remember?
When they won the championship, right?
Yes.
I think they won the constructions in Malaysia in 2000, right?
2000.
Yes.
And then the batch board issue as well. But
It's 1999.
It was within the tolerance after they looked at the rule book again.
I think it was like 30 millimeter extra compared to the rest.
Never a dull moment in Sepang. The only thing dull is maybe the admission price.
Admission price. Guys,
I would willing to pay.
Yeah, diamond grandstand for 2,000 ringgit. Who was going to buy?
Subsidy, please.
Maybe they can do preferential pricing. I mean, they do it for even Singapore Gardens by the Bay or even Zunagara, same, right? Malaysians, you get one price. Foreigners, you get.
Yes, Malaysian and foreigners should have.
So what you're saying is these are animals and we are spectators.
Okay, so going back to 2004, F2004.
Yeah.
What are the things that you like about the car? What are the things that you don't like about the car?
Things I like about the car is, as you said, I think the primary point was the sound. The spectacle, as in the size of the car, makes for a lot of overtaking. What I don't like about the car will be the groove tires. As I mentioned before, the groove tires really, I feel that they should really introduce more speed then, but maybe safety was...
I think groove tires was introduced in F1 due to safety.
Right.
But they wanted to reduce the speed.
Yeah. But I think today...
But there are few lap records which still stand stood is with the groove tires. So I don't know and I don't understand the theory of having groove tires. It's just all political, man.
Right.
You know, the moment you to spice up things, you know, you change to groove tires, you have higher wings, you know, you cannot have winglets or anything that is, you know, as seen as innovation, they will try to limit it.
Yeah. But one thing I really like about that era, it might be a bit controversial, but I really like refueling. Yeah, today pit stops are 3 seconds. 3 seconds is considered long, right? That's 1.5 seconds, maybe 2
The
seconds.
size of the car, man.
Yeah. So their fuel tanks are huge. So refueling made it really fun because you can opt for different types of strategies. Yes, mechanics get burned. You see some blow ups. You see Massa driving down the whole pit lane with the fuel rig in his car.
Yeah.
It's dangerous, but I really like refueling.
Refueling, I think one of the drivers that actually excel in that department is Michael.
Right.
He's smart. most of the race strategies, if he cannot do it on the track, he'll do it in the pit stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that actually is not like we discussed in the previous episode. All this technology that we have for safety, if you can do that, you can also do that in refueling.
Right.
Because IndyCar, until today, they did not switch to not refueling engines. They're still doing pit stop with strategies. And then you see different winner each time. You have a look, go and watch NBC Sports, whereby you can see IndyCar races doesn't have the same winner at all. It will have different winner each Grand Prix. So what I'm trying to say is the strategy plays a part. So you can actually bring back refueling with all this safety harness that you have. I mean, you can definitely can apply with the current generation as well.
So bring back refueling, bring back Sepang.
Yeah.
Sepang is a must.
Sepang is a
Jangan bawa lain, tapi kena bawa balik Sepang.
I mean, guys, come on lah. 226 juta is not much lah. If you can bayar for so many teams and so many
sponsorship all over the world,
around the world, apa lah sangat 226 ribu juta kan?
But recently, Singapore did release figures, right? Their Singapore GP has been raking them in. They've been making money for the past 8 years. 1 billion?
Yeah, man. Because I mean, you look at the way they do it. They do it as festival.
Right.
For us, like we do it like perarakan. One day finish done. That's all.
It's just 1 meal, right?
Going there for dinner. That's it. Like fast food.
A la carte.
If other Grand Prix circuits and organizers, they are already trying to think ahead what they're gonna do and prepare all the small events that will have interest in the people. I mean,
but just like what Michael Haziq said last week, they do road shows. They used to do road shows, but now no road shows.
No road shows. Even Shell used to do. Petronas used to do. There are other manufacturers like the cigarette brands they were used to do. Computer brands they used to do. I mean, all
headway sakit hati, it's painful when you see Barcelona getting sponsored by Petronas. You see Shanghai corners having the sports sponsorship ads.
Right. Exactly, it hurts. When you can do something at your home, and then you don't want to do at your home, and then you like keeping a keep in elsewhere.
That's why. So I really don't get it. And Petronas is the only Forbes 500 company in Malaysia.
Right.
You have a lot of you have a lot of money in the piggy bank lah. Come on lah.
Bro, sudah ada isteri lagi mau cari awet lain. Huh?
So F2004 was the creme de la creme of Formula 1, right? Cars. Then we go to 2005. It was a downhill all the way for Ferrari.
I wouldn't say it's downhill all the way, would you?
Again, it's all because of the small regulation changes that they made.
Tweaks that they do.
Yeah, it's the front wing. They raised the front wing, and also there's some changes in the tires.
They banned changing tires, was it?
2005, yeah. There was some. Remember, you are no longer having option for you to change the tires during the race.
Yeah, no,
right?
Yeah, your pin was only a.
You had only for the fuel. So these kind of things that bring down domination over team when they are specialized in something, and then you change a bit of tweak and then you are done.
Yeah, basically Michael was very good at qualifying laps after every stint was qualifying laps, so they figured that Bridgestone is making tires that last only a few laps. So what they do is they just change the regulation. No, we want it to last the whole race, and all of a sudden, domination.
Yeah, even the later stage of the Grand Prix, they were actually bullied by BAR Hondas and Toyotas.
I'm sorry, bro.
Jordan
bullied by BAR Honda. Honda that time was what, GP3 engine?
No, they were actually don't get me wrong. Juan Pablo Montoya in his podcast, when he was asked which is the best engine in that era, he said Honda.
He said Honda.
Yes, Honda had the best engine in that era, despite their blow-ups. Maybe because at that point of time, of course, you don't have the input like what you have now. Correlate with the chassis. So Honda had a difficulty because they were not a real manufacturer.
Yeah,
they were just suppliers. And
sure.
So of course
they don't have a works team at that time.
So when they took over the works team, most of the people, engineers, already flock away to other teams. They had to rebuild back again. For you to rebuild takes a lot of time. It is not a one-day thing that you're gonna win the championship. Like how Mercedes is struggling now. Yeah. This is actually literally Tyrrell become BAR, become Honda, and now Mercedes. Braun.
So you're saying that Honda actually won 8 world titles under the brand of Mercedes?
I wouldn't say that. because the mechanics are all the same from Pirelli days. Most of them are. If you look at the old school,
even the key engineers, James Brown.
they're from Nick Fry is now in Nick Fry. No, not Nick Fry. Jock Clear. He was in BM, then Mercedes, then he jumped to Ferrari.
Yeah.
Like Andrea Stella, he was a Ferrari, then jumped to McLaren. All those huge talent. We already see them becoming taking over management roles and stuff like that. So it's all segregated everywhere. That's why.
So you guys out there, right? Yeah, for Formula One, basically, it's just not down to the drivers.
Yeah.
It's down to race engineers, the team principals, the chief mechanic. All these play an important role. And also your engine partner also plays an important role. For success in Formula One, that is the magic. And this is what F2004 resembled.
Yes.
Because the formula worked.
Right.
The culture of Ferrari back then is all mixed. You had British, you had French, you had Japanese, you have even the tire engineer, they had specifically from Bristol just to cater Ferrari's needs.
That's why they introduced Michelin, because tires was only geared for Ferrari. It was so good that they even cornered the tires.
The build of the tire itself is for Ferrari.
Which other two teams used the Bridgestone in 2005?
2005 Bridgestone
What
was...
is it? Minardi?
No, Jordan. Jordan and
one more.
PSO.
I know three teams.
Minardi.
Yeah.
Jordan, Minardi and Ferrari were the only team with Bridgestone tires.
And you can only see the Bridgestone engineers in the paddock of Ferrari.
Yeah, and the interesting thing was when Bridgestone was solely supplying all of the tires, they had a special spec only for Ferrari.
So I would say Bridgestone was just not a supplier. It was a sponsor for Ferrari. And they developed the tires according to the needs of Ferrari. If you look at other team in 2003, 2004, when they were using Bridgestone, they were not on par at all.
Yeah. And you can see Bridgestone logo on their front wing. I think you're right.
There's a placement there.
I mean, they are the sponsors, the secret sponsors.
Let me see Pirelli on the nose cone of Mercedes. No, he's not there. No, he's not there. When you are a sponsor, they want to make sure that you highlight
put a decal on
best level. So Bridgestone and Ferrari had a very special connection, and that makes the perfect team, from tires to chassis to aero package to tukang masa to tukang sapu.
To me, what really saddens me with this 2004 season, sometimes they took the advantage of the wrecks and also position changes. So team orders.
Right.
Team orders during the Ferrari era was very instrumental.
But I would disagree with that. You know why? You are paid to be second driver, so you have to oblige to that.
So you say what Rubens and Eddie did was
I would say that's normal. That's normal. You have to oblige to what you are signed for.
Yeah, but
so if you are a second fiddle, you become second fiddle.
Yeah, but the thing is, they in their contract they never explicitly stated that they were second driver.
There was no clause in that.
I mean, we didn't see that. Yeah. I mean, of course, we don't have the actual contract to showcase, but that was your role. Rubens, you are second driver, you stay behind second driver. Perez, you are second driver, stay behind. So Bottas, you are second driver, you stay behind.
So Checo also second driver.
So yeah, going officially on the record, Checo is a second driver.
Obviously, I would say, hands down.
That man last year said that he can challenge Max for the World Championship.
He would say, people would say, this entice media, the fans and everything. But it is definitely second fiddle.
Definitely second fiddle.
Even in smaller teams, they favor a driver that is quicker. So when you already, maybe midfield team, they won't have that contract.
Okay, I'll throw you back a question. Let's talk about current season. Which team is not clear-cut? Who's first, who's second?
I would say Haas.
Only Haas?
Haas, and also, let me think, Alpine.
I have one for you, bro. Who is first driver? Lance Stroll?
Lance Stroll. This one clear-cut, Lance Stroll. So Alonso is the second driver.
That is funny. You are not performing, but yet you are first driver.
Bro, they are also saying that he will still be there in 2026 with the new regulation. I don't know what they're going. What? Aston Martin. What are they trying to do?
Well, if you look at it from a very big picture, father buys business is for his son's career. Same thing going on everywhere, right? So I think it's very clear.
There is some truth to that. But you are really jeopardizing the reputation of the sport.
No, not only the sport, the brand.
The brand, yeah.
And investing so much of my dad's money.
Yeah, and you're also sacrificing the one rare sport out of 20, right? For so many talents.
So many talents out there.
Batman we saw was good. Liam Lawson was good. But they're talking about Kimi Antonelli now. And then, but you still got this 40-year-old still racing in there, and the father who was funding his
Exactly. But I would say Alonso, he has some unfinished business. That's why he wanted to stay. And then actually after 2026, he's interested in hypercar. That
For me, Alonso for Aston is crucial because it's a stepping stone from Vettel. Because Aston was still a very raw team. They wanted to mold a team. So they have 2 world champions guiding this.
Right.
They follow footsteps of what Michael did.
Yeah.
So once they have evolved the team, then they've put in a young driver who's talented, then they can excel.
Stroll,
Not Stroll.
For me, Stroll.
He's just taking a stroll in the team, going here, going there, eating
Stroll has
breakfast.
become a troll for me.
Well,
So F2004, excellent car, beautiful car, legendary car to a lot of the F1 fans. You guys out there, if you have a diecast that is a scale 118, 112, 18, 15, grab it before it goes out.
I hear you're in the market for 2000.
I'm looking for one. Okay, if there you guys are selling, PM me. I'll give you a very good price.
Blank check.
Blank check. Just write your price on it.
Then my name will be Andre Newey.
Okay, so that's segment 2 for us. We'll come back with segment 3 shortly. Thank you. Hi guys, welcome back to Paddock Show, our last segment.
Yeah, and I'm back again. I'm Kumar, and we have Eugene for the last segment.
Yep. So we finished Senna's car, we finished Michael's car. So now the current era.
Right. We know that the current generation is very complicated based on power unit. They shifted how engines are now called. From being a engine, whole motor, now called power unit. Why is that so?
That's because since I think 2014, they introduced a power unit is hybrid. They introduced hybrid system into the engines. Now Formula 1 cars no longer race on pure petrol. It's a combination of electric and also petrol motor, internal combustion. So you have 2 things powering their engines now.
So how does it work? I mean, what is the component of it?
So basically, you still have your regular internal combustion engine, but it's supplemented by electric power. How the electric power is not your regular Tesla plug-in hybrid. You don't plug in. Unfortunately, these cars, they don't plug in. You generate the electricity from the braking.
I really hope Tesla doesn't go into F1. Please, lah. Yeah. Do not enter F1 or do not enter FE.
Why not though? Why?
I think Tesla is just a gimmick. They are not there for the enthusiasts. They're just there to make money.
Hype.
It's a hype.
Do you know what's perfect for Formula E though? If electric cars go in, the tag name basically sells itself. BYD, build your dreams.
Yes, but BYD is competitive in terms of prices.
Yes.
When it comes to prices for EV in Malaysia.
So I'll come to that. You said BYD, right? Actually, there is a connection between BYD and Mercedes. Batteries. They share technology for batteries. So whatever technology that you see on the road now, okay, there is also combination from Mercedes.
You're talking about the EQ cars?
Yeah, EQ cars and also the BYDs. They are partners.
Okay, that's the segue. Let's continue with the car.
Right. So yeah, let's go back to the engine. So basically, they've been powered by their braking, and also so it's regenerative. So the electric power. So now I think you hear on the radio all the time. It's like, give me more power, or why is my battery? Like recently, Max in the sprint just now was complaining about his battery. So it's a combination of battery and how they charge the battery is through braking. So sometimes over qualifying lap nowadays, right? It's no longer just driving the car and just putting pedal to the metal and then you go as fast as you can. You will see that in their warm-up laps for qualifying, they will recharge their batteries and then they can choose to deploy it as and when they need it for the extra power.
So what you're trying to say is like it is similar to Curse or different?
Curse is the first iteration of it. Okay, Curse is the first generation. It has evolved to what it is today. It's an evolution from Curse.
All right. So what are the elements that we can see in the power unit at the moment?
Yep. So a bit of background on Curse. For those who don't know, Curse is actually kinetic energy recovery system. So it's self-explanatory, but if you don't know the technical jargons, kinetic energy is basically energy that you recover from movement. So that's why the braking recharges the battery. So there are two parts of the engine that makes up the power unit now. You get the battery, and then you get the internal combustion engine.
Right. So how does it generate the power output when the ICE is working? How does the battery pack regenerates its power of 160 horsepower?
Yep.
How does it?
So like I said, it's true. Most of it is recharged through braking and also.
So what is the device called?
The device?
The device called for you to regenerate and then push the power to the battery pack.
I'm sorry.
MGUH.
MGU, right? Yeah, MGUH and MGUK.
Yes, correct. So MGUK is something like Curse, but MGUH is the one that eliminates your lag, turbo lag.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why in this generation of Formula One cars, there is no turbo lag at all due to the MGUH. So these are the combination of power units that we call that is input in this hybrid engines. ICE, like he said. Another one is a battery pack. Battery pack consists of 4 or 6 elements inside, and also the electronics. Then that Curse MGUK, MGUH. So that's why you see less fuel being used in Formula One, and then also no more pit stop. It's all thanks to this technology.
Stuff you learn every day.
Yeah, man.
The car is so complex now to where you see the Senna car is.
Yeah,
it's like miles away. I know even the small little details, elements from the wings, from the chassis itself, from the nose cone, the winglets, even the side pods. It's crazy. The amount of aero that they put into the car is so much different, and I think hence the driver's talent sometimes is hidden or limited. It's not a true indicator whether you are a good driver or you're not a good driver.
So, are you in favor of these hybrids, or you just watch it because it's F1?
But well, I watch it because it's F1. But also hybrids, I think, bring a new breed of racing. I think we're in the new generation, where Formula One has always been a marriage of driver and car. So last time,
except for yours, Verstappen.
This era, I would say 70-30. Driver 70,
yes,
car 30. And this one, I would say maybe 50-50.
Yeah, and you can see the difference because the car last time, maybe this car, maybe a team of 30 engineers worked on it. Now a team of 30 engineers work on the front wing alone.
Yeah.
So that's why you get the intricate barge boards, and you get all the little sticky uppy bits, the little things that only make sense to maybe just the engineers. Last time you take one look at the car, you'll be like, oh, the front wing pushes air down.
So where is the gearbox stick? I cannot see any gearbox stick inside this test.
There's no more gearbox stick. They reduced the pedal shift.
Oh, pedal shifters now. Who introduced the pedal shift?
Pedal shift, Gerhard Berger.
Okay.
No, Gerhard Berger, sorry. The
Patrick Head?
No, Patrick Head. The engineer for
Ferrari.
For Ferrari, right?
Yeah. If I'm not wrong, it was late 90s. Late 90s, they introduced a pedal shifter in Ferrari.
Yeah.
As they had some issues earlier on, but after that it was seamless.
Yeah. But the engineer was working on the Mclaren as well. Then he
correct.
From
I can't recall his name.
Yeah, I can't recall. He designed the McLaren F1 GTR as well.
Oh, okay. I forgot. I know him. I can picture in my mind, but I cannot tell his name. I can't remember also.
The dictionary failed today.
Yeah. Right. So apart from that, the aerodynamic is very complex. The engine is very complex. And what about the physics in this car? How easy are this car drivable compared to that McLaren there?
But I can see where this is going now. He's building a case for saying that the car drives itself like a Tesla, and then Lewis Hamilton duduk dalam.
Yeah, I think Kumar is.
I just want to know the difference. You know how
But I agree with you. There are so many toys and gadgets and electronics that you can do. There are many toys. According to Pedro de la Rosa, he's the test driver for I think in the 90s and 2000s for McLaren, and he's an ambassador by Aston Martin today. On the recent podcast I was listening to, he was saying that the drivers today they have to learn all the toys. They have to know all the settings, switches, and all the different fuel settings. And sometimes they are so assisted that the cars practically drive itself. There, I said it.
So another question to you.
Yeah.
Back those days, there was no simulator, no preparation at all.
Right.
Okay, you just had your only time when you have the testing, and then you get the feel of the car.
Sure.
So
looking
at the current generation of drivers, when they switch from F2 to F1, or from Super Formula to Formula 1, or from Formula to F1, Formula 1 to Formula E, how is the adaptability? Due to the simulator, it's very easy switch.
Nowadays, easy switch is one, but the level of complexity on the step up is still quite quite a steep step. But that's it. I mean, if you look at Ollie Behrman recently, his performance, he was driving F2 just the day before when Sainz said that he couldn't drive. They roped him on. He jumped in the car and he overtook Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton.
So did he have any experience in prior to that?
Not maybe one test.
Okay.
Maximum.
How about simulator?
Simulator. He would have been driving this.
So how accurate is the simulator plays the role of the modern generation of Formula 1 cars? From having a PS1 at home, driving for competition. And replicating that on the track. Imagine PS1, you play, and then you replicate that performance on the track.
You're comparing a simulator to it's like saying Kanchil to a F1 car, bro.
I think a note to take as well. Last time, the older drivers didn't have simulators.
Right now,
and they'll smoke on the car.
Yes, and they used to walk the track by foot.
Yeah.
Nowadays they use bicycles and electric scooters.
Yeah.
So Michael used to walk the entire track with
engineers. Right. I think they still do mostly nowadays. They do track walks. Like recently, Logan Sargent was the first to do the track walk in China.
They should, I think.
Yeah. So I think it's to appreciate the finer details when you drive as well. But yeah, back to your question when you said simulators. I think simulators are. It's a question you have to go and ask Mercedes themselves. Their simulator doesn't seem to be producing any results. So, but for drivers, I think the step becomes a lot easier. And I agree with you. Yeah, because of simulators, they sort of like ease the entry back into driving these cars.
Right. Yeah. So coming back to the technology again, those days there were no scale models for them to do the aero testing and all that. Even though you have a wind tunnel.
Right.
Wind tunnel came in 90s, I guess. 90s, they were quite...
90s.
Started to be influential for Formula 1. But with the reduced size of the scale models in the wind tunnel, and then also with the heavy usage of CAD in F1, when we see some teams complain, the upgrade is not working, I would say that is because of the CAD that they use.
Right.
Yeah, all the computer-generated aero packages that they use, they never really replicate in the wind tunnel.
Right.
Do you agree with me on that? And how it is important for the technology to be such at an advanced level to ensure that the midfield team and the high-end team, there's so much of gap.
Yeah.
So I need your view on that.
I think the thing that you're looking for is correlation.
Yeah.
So basically, correlation means that what I do on my computer will be replicated in real life. So for example, if let's say on the computer, it says that it's supposed to generate 5 points of downforce. So for example, when in real life, when you put it on the track, it's supposed to do the same. There was an issue that comes up now is, like, let's say, for example, on the computer, I tekan, I press, maybe I press your PS1 or what. It comes out and it's supposed to say, I'm supposed to go around this track in 1 minute, 10 seconds. Hamilton goes in with his octopus hands, drives, and then comes back 1 minute, 30 seconds. Where's the correlation? He's not getting the grip where he's supposed to. So that's where the biggest problem lies in now.
Okay, and how important is driver feedback?
Driver feedback will be very important because today, much like before, last time the driver feedback is, look, the feel of the car and how he can push in what corner he can go faster. Driver feedback today is different from what driver feedback last time because they drive in the simulator. The simulator, maybe he takes the corner, he brakes 100 meters or 50 meters. At 50 meters, and then he can pitch the car in the simulator. But when it comes to real life, he brakes at 50 meters, he won the car out. So that feedback is still, I think driver feedback is still very important today.
Okay. So looking at the driver's aid, in a way it is called driver's aid. Like how we have in the simulators nowadays, you can turn on and off your aids.
Right.
So if you want to drive a pro car, you drive this. If you want to drive a simulator, you drive this. If that's how you compare it, I guess you can put it.
Yeah, I think that fundamentally that's what it is.
Yeah.
But being Formula One, you need to be ahead of technology.
Right.
You need to be ahead of R&D because a lot of car manufacturers pay a lot of money to the teams.
Yeah.
So they want to harness a lot of technology back to the road cars. So what you guys are experiencing in your road cars now, ABS, air electronic suspension, carbon fiber, roll cages, all of that comes from the prototypes of Formula One. Because Formula One is a type of car, just like MotoGP, where you can't buy. You can only see the car, experience the car, and absorb the car in your automotive industry.
You want to buy a car? Come to Eugene. There.
Okay, so what are some of the weaknesses of this car?
The weaknesses, I would say, is down to the size. As you can see, because of the size, they occupy so much of the track. Like Monaco nowadays, the overtaking becomes so difficult that they have to introduce the
DRS.
Yeah, DRS into their system. So nowadays, a lot of overtaking is done at the DRS on a straight line rather than over corners, taking different lines. So I think as much as it is a technological marvel, we lose a lot in the racing. So the pure racing where the drivers go side by side into multiple corners. Well, we did witness some of it yesterday. Hamilton craftily pushed Norris.
No comment.
No comment. What's your take on it?
No comment.
No comment. Okay. That is a lot already.
Okay, next question.
But yeah, so I think we lose a lot on the pure racing, where we see like 2-3 cars going down the stretch and then try and battle for the same piece of tarmac. So, and also, sometimes these cars just lose a lot when you lose one piece. You lose one piece of the barge board, suddenly you're just 2 seconds, 3 seconds behind. You're not able to claw back.
I see that nowadays the cars, if they use, like what you said, if they lose one element,
right,
the car is totally affected.
Sure.
But last time, during those eras and even this era, if you lose one element, you're still able to finish the race at least.
Yeah.
You won't pit. You won't box.
I remember when Michael had his barge board loss sides, he was still going as fast as the leaders without the barge board. But now,
2021 Max, right?
when Max, that one was total loss of the car.
The
Bottas bolted, right?
He went both.
The whole half of the left side or right side was gone.
Right.
That one is different story. But where I want to come back to is Gasly. What happened to him during the last race? So there was a little piece missing. Okay. And he mentioned in the interview that he lost 3 or 4 points of downforce.
Sure.
Just because of that one little piece. So like all these bits of pieces, the tiny edges, the cutoffs, all plays a very big role on how the airflow is channeled throughout the car. Here you see there's not much flow at all. You don't see any flow going into the diffuser, and I don't see any complex diffuser like how I see in this W11. There's a layers of diffuser, there's a layers of winglets, even in the exhaust pipe as well. So looking at the differences, there's a lot. Of course, so much of investment, so much of money, so much of studies has been put through. It's totally unimaginable when you come from our generation of Formula One, and now we couldn't have imagined that we could see this kind of cars.
That's why I always find that the 2004 is cut off a bridge between very basic to advanced. So it's an intermediate. So it's a perfect car, basically.
So I agree, because in 2005 all started to go here.
You have a little bit of technology and driver's aids, but you also have the basic necessary tools to race a car.
But with that aero package, with that nimbleness of those cars, the racing was still fantastic up until 2009.
Right.
Until they introduced the non-refueling regulations and also the basic aero package.
Yeah.
And they wanted to replicate like IndyCar, basic aero package and more fights. But I didn't see that.
So maybe you can tell the fans out there, why did Lewis excel in this era with this new
And Rosberg.
technology and also Rosberg?
Yep. So, Mercedes basically dominated in their engine development. They were so far ahead with the new regulations that they only recently some engineers even came out like to say that they only using 70% of their power in the first three seasons because they were so dominant. What you're seeing Red Bull today, Mercedes was then, but what they excelled in was basically their engines. They had to play catch up when Red Bull and Max started doing better. I think the big difference between the Red Bull and Mercedes is Mercedes, they had the benefit of doing well in their engines. Red Bull, unfortunately, were handicapped by Renault. Sorry, are you wearing Renault today?
Yeah, I'll digest that.
But Renault wasn't interested in because they have their own works team, so they weren't interested in winning. So Red Bull had to build such a good chassis to try and bring the fight to Mercedes. So in the later years, Mercedes also improved on their chassis as well. But we're seeing the difference today, where engine is now on par.
Except for Renault. They are 40 horsepower down.
Oh,
yeah.
Season.
And they have the worst, sorry Renault, they have the worst battery pack.
Wow.
In the field.
How I don't know in Formula 1.
I don't know why they are not taking technology from Nissan. Because basically Renault is owned by Nissan.
Nissan, maybe they don't care so much. They're focusing on
road cars and GTR, touring cars and stuff like that.
I think during this time also, Mercedes had a separate plan just for the engine development in practically. So when you have a lot of engineers just focusing on one element of the car, you're bound to excel.
I think they laid the blueprint for what successful overspending Formula 1 team should be.
I will come to that. Yeah. There was no cost cap.
Right.
Yeah, there was no cost cap.
So they can really concentrate on developing the engine.
Yeah.
Unlike other teams, they were still allocated budget.
Yep.
Meaning they rely on sponsors, they rely on this and that, also the manufacturer. But Mercedes on its own, they already have that huge amount of money.
Yep.
So that they could concentrate on engine alone, high performance the department, and also aero different.
Also, they kept winning, so they keep getting more money, and they can throw money at the problem.
Exactly.
Unlike today, where they are capped by the cost, so there's a lag in the development. So, like for example, if let's say the front wing wasn't producing enough downforce, they can generate 10 different types. They can throw enough money at the problem, and then they can come with a better front wing. I mean, it's not you only allocated you only budgeted and limited in terms of ICE, your MGUK, MGUH. So, but they can out.
But the teams are also outsmarting the rules because we know that there's a freeze in the engine development.
Yep.
But they can always come and tell the FIA that I have a problem with my gearbox, I have problem with my turbine, I have problem with my piston, I have problem with my engine block. They can always change. That would enhance the performance of the car and bring more horsepower. Indirectly, the loophole is still there. They are still developing the engine in the name of reliability.
Okay, talking about that era, now there is a tech change in 2022, right?
Yes.
So that's where Red Bull interject the solid dominance.
Right.
So what made Red Bull better than this?
Well, they couldn't carry over this design to the current generation. It's because it was a total change of concept. It became the ground effect era. They call it ground effect. So most of the aerodynamic work is done on the floor. Instead of just on the upper side. So I think where Mercedes couldn't compete now is because the engine power deficit, or rather their advantage has been nullified. Everyone more or less has the same power, output now. So they are very lacking in their aerodynamics, in their ground effect. Adrian Newey has been leading the field. I think Ferrari is playing a bit of catch up now as well. But Mercedes are really lacking behind. I think they came up with easily 3 or 4 different concepts this era, and none of them work.
Nothing works for them this season.
But it works. He finished second in the sprint race.
Congratulations. Works for sprint.
Your theory is wrong.
We'll see in the race.
You see the car now bigger, right? So let's talk a bit about diecast costs, right?
You're right.
I think the diecast cost for that car would be more expensive than the Senna generation. Or is it? Or am I wrong?
You will be surprised if you go to Amalgam website. They are about the same.
About the same.
Yeah, maybe a difference.
Even though the size is slightly bigger.
Right.
Don't they use more material?
I think if the way we are raised, right, we calculate everything.
Yes.
It'll be like, this one should be cheaper. This one. I think prestige wise, they just decide to have it all the same. If I may, like this one can easily the price of this small 143 because it's made handmade resin model by BDR and it's limited edition. Only 320 pieces.
Yeah, guys, that one is actually a special paint to commemorate their
Tuscan GP.
Yes.
Yeah, and you'll be surprised that this is supposedly less material than F2004, but the price is easily 3 times.
3 times more. So there's a BBR one.
That's a carbon fiber. Is it carbon fiber?
Supposedly.
Yeah, it is carbon fiber. Yeah, carbon fiber base. 13 September 2020, Sebastian Vettel with the engraved Ferrari logo. Limited edition 320 of 194. 194 of 320. Awesome looking detail, man.
But even talking about diecast, we'll do a bit of segue. For the F2004, the red is spectacular. Even if the current generation of Ferrari cars, the red is not as good as Michael's time. I'm not sure why.
The reason for that was because now a lot of teams gravitate towards matte paint. Because matte paint apparently
they used to use gloss, right?
Yeah, last time they used to have a coat of gloss. So without, they save maybe 1/10. So I think there were a lot of comments about the paint. They say that if you're like Alpine, Haas, you're not really competing for the front. Just paint the car, make it look better. V-Carbs or RB is doing it, and their cars look much better. You don't have to pretend and try and matte your car.
The red. Remember when you look at the F2004 in Sepang, it was like really shining out of the factory, like it's never been raced.
Yep.
Then after the race, you can see all the tarmac and all that on the car. It looks fantastic.
If you look at the Mercedes this year and last year, they were actually full carbon.
Oh, yeah, full carbon.
The sticker.
Right. Yeah. So they hide under the black color
to save weight. I'm coming to that to say it's save weight. Even Haas does that.
Yep.
Even
I think you're right. This
Alpine does that this year. They are saving a lot of.
Mostly black, right? And then it's just a splash of color here.
You need diversity, bro.
Talking about colors, what do you think of the stick green color?
It hurts my eyes, bro. It really hurts my eyes. I think they just have to. They just pick the color that stood out the most. My wife, she watches F1. She saw the stick design. She's a art director, so she does creative.
No, she's an art director.
So she's in the creative field. She took one look at the stick livery and she was like, "Did an intern design it?" Huh?
I don't know where they come up with that kind of livery, but yes, we don't like it.
Talking about sticks green, what struck me was Force India's pink. Okay. There was a statement about that too when the
but
paint
that
came out.
pink is related to manufacturing. I mean, look at BWT. Their main sponsor at that point of time. That
corporate
sponsor,
color.
Corporate color. Yeah, it's your identity. Like why people ask questions. Why they never change livery. Look at Red Bull. Why are they just keeping
one
with one? This is their identity. Is their business. Look at McLaren. Those days they never changed their livery. From 88 up until 92, 93, 96, they had the same concept of Marlboro design that they had to carry because it's their identity at that point of time. Look at Ferrari. Even now, they have their red.
Yeah.
Always red, black, yellow.
Yeah.
Will still be there. So if people out there, the new generation, ask questions, why these Formula 1 teams look the same only? There's no difference. Why this? Why that? Why that? You need to know this is a corporate business also.
Yeah.
Every team, every manufacturer, every driver has their branding.
Yeah.
So that brand stays into the car.
But I feel that's where Alpine is missing out. Alpine makes really good sports cars and their branding is actually very strong. If you remember the first season of Alpine, the colors were beautiful.
Yeah.
They represented France. Yeah. Really, really nice livery.
That was a nice color.
Yeah, today it was just carbon fiber and a splash of blue.
Yeah.
All went wrong when Otmar was sacked. And then so many engineers left Alpine. Yeah. So that hurt them a lot. And then they're still finding ways to correct it. and I hope they will come back to the top of the midfield because this is one of the iconic team as well. This, what you see here, now is an Alpine. This is Williams, right? Oh, sorry, Renault. I'm talking about Renault, another Williams. Williams is a team. But the engine that you see in this car, Renault back then, and is now called Alpine. So they are quite good. They are one of the legends in Formula One, producing best engines back then. So
championship winning
engines, So it's sad to see them languishing at the back of the grid, but I'm sure they'll come back. But they need better drivers, I guess. I think Gasly, is okay. I still rate him high. Gasly, I still rate him high. Ocon, I'm 50-50.
So on the scale of Lewis Hamilton to Max Verstappen, where are their drivers? Do you think?
Their scale?
Yeah.
I mean, Gasly and Ocon or?
Gasly and Ocon. So Max Verstappen being 0, Max Verstappen being like the 10, and then Lewis Hamilton being 0. So where do you rank?
No, Max is 10, Lewis is 100. Lewis 100. Look at his achievement, bro. Max baru 3 time world champion lah. Apa you cakap? Hamilton sudah 7 tahun, sudah mengangkat 8 lah tahun depan lah. 8 tau tahun depan lah. Jangan main-main.
Yeah, first. Ferrari next world champion.
Lewis.
You never know, bro. I'm dead serious because Ferrari's foundation is awesome. They just need a proper timing. That's it. Coming back to Gasly and Ocon, yes, I would rate Gasly higher than Ocon because Gasly's racecraft is good compared to Ocon. If you look at his time in AlphaTauri, he can climb up the field.
Yep.
He can finish on the races in points and also in podium. So for me, I would suggest. My view, Gasly is better than Ocon.
Along the grid, there's a lot of drivers who deserve a better seat. But because of the complexity of Formula One politics and also the availability of season contracts, they are limited. So to be successful in Formula One, guys, is not just being in the right team, but also the right timing.
Yeah. So I had an idea. Just sorry to interrupt you. They say that they don't want more than 10 teams, correct? Why don't you just introduce another car, 3 car, make the grid bigger?
Andretti, they are registered for...
They have registered for F3, F2, but they are denied entry into Formula One.
Why?
Because the teams don't agree. Basically, the teams don't want to expand.
I think because of the Concord agreement.
That is one thing, and also the prize money. So when you have 11 teams running the championship, you have to split the price, which nobody agrees to it.
Yeah. Maybe you can tell the fans what is the prize money structured like?
Oh, the structure is simple, basically. The more you win, the more you get penalized, actually.
Yes.
Okay, what happens is, when you win a championship, a driver point of view, you have to pay licensing. Every year you have to pay licensing. So everything you need to be renewed every year. So even same entry fees for the Formula One team, depending on how much
finished last season
revenue they generate based on the previous years. So it's millions we are talking about here. Even Max Verstappen's license is above $1 million. License only, Formula One license. Above $1 million.
Not mistaken, but it's like 1 point is like 10,000 euros.
Yeah, so what happened is, the higher rank you are in the championship, the more the cost of you to compete in Formula One.
Yes.
Simple as that.
Yep. Wow. The good thing JPJ doesn't charge me for...
JP? No comment. A lot to talk there, but no comment. So that's why it's not easy, when people say Mercedes is dominating, Ferrari is dominating, Red Bull is dominating, but they don't know the background picture. There's cost involved in everywhere. Yes, they have revenue, but the cost is also there.
But that's not included in the budget cap, right?
That's not included in the budget cap. Thank God.
So that is not included in the budget cap. Even catering as well. Like you always mentioned.
Oi, lapar ni, jangan sebut catering.
Catering isn't it?
Yeah, it is, right? It is.
But that's what went over for.
But it became an issue.
Right.
Yeah, because
so eating.
It's not the cost cap
in the car.
Yes. Apparently, according to FIA, that's the case.
Yeah, that's the case. So everything that you spend except the driver's salary, I think.
Yeah, and also the engineer's salary. Is separate.
Separate.
Yep.
Okay. So by the time you guys hear this, episode 13, it will be the European rounds. So Kumar and Eugene, what are your takes on European round?
There will be more upgrades coming from every team. So you can see a different version of wings or some elements on the floor or edges or the downwash, the upwash. So suspension. So there will be more coming up. I would say the teams like Ferrari, they already planned a huge major upgrade coming up to fight with Red Bull. This year actually is not over. Yeah, we have 24 races and we are just done with 4. So there's so many more races coming up. You never know when Sainz would become the candidate for the world champion again. Sorry, I didn't mention Leclerc because Leclerc has a problem with the racecraft. So maybe he need to improve that or be on par of Sainz in order for him to fight for the championship. I maybe you disagree with me, but
I'm sorry, bro. This season is over.
It's not over, man. We have 20 more races to go.
Adrian Newey said there's a major upgrade coming for Imola and it's going to change the look of Red Bull completely.
Yes, but Ferrari is coming there as well.
There will be rockets and missiles and all that. Everybody will be
You never know when they, the balance switch. Tiba-tiba Hamilton menang all the 20 races out. You never know, bro.
It's true. But the way I see it, Adrian Newey just said, just wait for Imola. I'm actually interested to see the upgrades for Imola. I think that's during the...
What they're talking is, they want to replicate W12s. But there will be some side port there. But then maybe... we don't have W11, right? Sorry, not W11, W12.
No, the W12 wasn't dominant, bro. It was...
I don't know. I just wanted to see the... Have you bought the W12? Not yet.
Oh, W12 or W13?
Sorry, W13.
13. 12 I got.
W13 tak ada?
Tak ada. W13.
Kenapa tak beli? Never mind. I have it. I will show you the differences.
What Metal called it? It looked like a piece of hot cake that you drop and then after it just...
Yeah. When the car was launched, George Russell was very confident.
Right.
He said this car is amazing. I mean, from the simulation, like you said earlier, when they correlate, it's totally opposite.
But this is the thing about guessing games in Formula 1. Whatever the drivers or the team say, this year I feel the car is good. But come race day, comes the Sunday, everything changes.
Correct. Especially during the launch time, they want to hype it up to ensure that the fight is there. That's why we, as a fan, we always look forward for the winter season.
Yeah.
The winter is very nervous for me. When I was a kid, watching Formula 1, I would rely on Star newspaper, The Sun, New Straits Times. There will be a cutoff of the timing sheets.
Yeah.
No, I will be always see Oliver Penny's. Wow, 22 laps, 115. Arrest. Wow, oh my God, there's a lap record. But when it comes to the race day, they are not performing. It's because certain things you have to look at.
Yeah.
They bring upgrade, they bring performance, but you need to ensure that replicates into the race day.
Yeah, it's all also sometimes they are hiding their secret weapons. It's also like sandbagging also.
Yeah. Mercedes tried that with the new regulations. They brought the side pod one. Then all of a sudden, Barcelona they brought it back. The non.
So where was the sand was hang? The back.
These models don't have sandbags, bro.
Don't have. We need to tell you, Amalgam. Please ensure there's a sandbagging model version.
We did that, yeah.
If you were to start diecast, okay, everyone says start with Hot Wheels.
Right.
How about if you had the cash?
I would say decide your focus when you start diecast. You have to know what you want to collect. Otherwise, it can go out of control very fast because you suddenly want to buy everything.
Are we looking at a guy in yellow?
No, but his team is buying everything. That's
Guys, Kumar is a bit different, okay? So don't just correlate yourself with him.
Siapa?
Adalah orang kuning ke tepi tu.
Ya. Apa?
So yeah, I think the easiest way is you have to have focus lah. As in everything in life, you choose what you want and then you go after it.
Yeah. For me also, I think if I was a diecast collector, because I used to be a mini helmet collector,
I see.
You collect things that you like and that's relevant to you. Like what Haziq and Michael said.
Yep.
They collect what's relevant to them.
So I get to that point. You said you collect what you like and you keep that, right? I like Formula 1.
So you collect the entire collection.
Why not, bro?
So one season there's 20 cars, you buy 20.
I wish, but I couldn't afford. So of course, this is special for me. I would say because my dad influenced me very much in collecting cars. So what happened was he bought me a toy Mclaren, similar to this one. Not Amalgam, similar size, but those days,
Yes.
the plastic toys,
Yeah.
but they had Marlboro stickers and everything. I don't know from where my dad got that. And when you open, there's a circuit inside, and there are 2 tiny McLarens inside. There's a circuit inside the car.
Imprinted.
You open the car, there'll be a track. Brazilian GP, Sao Paulo.
Wow.
Then me and my brother had the same car. Don't know where's the car now, but that is where we all started watching Formula 1 in 97, 98. 98. Then that's it from there. Started collecting a little bit. It's not that you buy in a huge bulk. We don't advise you to buy in huge bulk. For me, I personally collect slowly. My game is a slow game. I don't, everything just rempat semua sekali. Tak boleh.
Yeah.
Memang tak boleh. Aku bankrupt terus. So, when you want to collect something, yes, you have an eye on this cars or this team or this driver. So, you slowly set your savings aside for your hobby.
Agreed.
I know. Slowly you buy. It's not that you just, I want to do all these 3 to buy together. No. Mampus lah kau. Memang tak boleh. So, it is a way also for how you control your budget and buy these cars. These cars aren't cheap nowadays. And it's becoming more and more difficult for us to purchase.
Yeah.
For me, I like Formula 1, so I will choose teams that are mostly with Honda. And also GT cars. I collect GT cars. I collect MotoGP. I collect touring cars. Indy cars.
No, only F1, right? That's the thing. Oh, no, only 4 wheels. 2 wheels as well.
But mostly Honda.
Yeah. So
No wonder someone is after you.
Oi,
We're waiting for the day.
itu sudah rejected itu orang. No.
So, Eugene, if in your collection,
Yep.
if I were to ask you for one particular piece that you would not even sell for 1 million, what would it be?
for 1 million, not even sell. I think it will be the F2004 here with Michael.
Okay lah, then I can buy the Exoto lah. How much?
This one, yeah?
Yeah.
So you cannot buy anymore?
You can. You still can if you look hard enough.
How much is it now?
On eBay, I think you can get it for about 300 USD.
300.
I mean, it's not as extravagant as the Amalgams, but I think the sentimental value of it, especially with Michael's signature,
And all the data in there as well, all the plates.
it's a fabulous piece. So that is, I think, the piece that
Is there a running number there?
there is no running number.
No running number.
No. Wait, no. There is one. Yeah.
There's a running number.
This
So
one
this
is
is
a
by
running
Hot
number.
Wheels.
Yes,
So
correct.
it's a limited run.
Right. So I think it was produced way back in 2005, 2006. Yeah.
And that's autographed by Michael as well.
Yeah, and apparently there's a story behind the autograph. I bought it from an Australian collector, and he sent it to. He just sent the base. He didn't send the whole model. Sent the base to Maranello, where his friend works as a mechanic.
All right.
Michael Schumacher.
Okay.
And he got Michael to sign in his free time. So he was selling part of his collection, and I was very happy to to get a piece of it.
It's a very good one because even the box also has got the Michael's dragon logo.
Yes, that logo doesn't come very often, and he doesn't actually incorporate too much of his design.
You can see in the Belgian GP version also. Ada. The logo, the helmet, the dragon logo. Which
So,
is cool.
In the future, myself and Kumar, we are also thinking of gathering our own diecast meet and greet, where everyone brings their own personal items and also limited runs.
Right.
And we want to actually showcase all you guys.
Yeah, that'll be fantastic.
So that would be in the pipeline for us as well. So you guys there who are diecast collectors, get in touch with us. We'll put you in our WhatsApp group, and then we are planning.
And we will also cover our Diecast Expo that is coming up. So hope to see you there, bro. And get your cash ready, yeah. But the only downside about this Diecast Expo is that most of them is 164s.
164.
So
I think it's suited more for the Malaysian market with our shrinking ringgit. Our diecast also shrinking. You see, my collection are also shrinking. That's all. To be honest, it is what it is, bro.
yeah, man. Oi, terus lah.
Yeah, very bad. But it is a hobby. I think if you are a Formula 1 fan, if you're a diecast collector, it goes hand in hand, I think. That's why both of you actually collect these pieces, because you can see the progression in the technology and also the changes in the regulations and also the appreciation, because every piece have got its own history and also story, right?
Agreed.
Yeah, that's the amazing part of us collecting, that you get to see the cars from the old generation to the newest.
Yep.
And the material used, the technology advancement, the driver change.
Yep.
You know, it's fun, and also like you said, sentimental values comes a lot when it comes to collecting diecast.
Because when you look at these diecast, you're not only looking at F1 cars, you're also looking back at your own memories. Like, for example, when you look at F2004, you remember the times where you were at the GPs, or you were watching Astro, or flipping the backs of the newspapers. You know, they evoke a lot more than just the cars itself.
And my dad will be asking, Michael Schumacher won again, right? I told him.
Oh, today you just replaced Michael Schumacher and Max Verstappen.
Yes.
So, guys, today you saw 3 beautiful eras of F1, from Senna to Michael to Lewis. So, comment down below, which era do you like the most? And if you like one of them, we will actually showcase more of those eras, and we will discuss further along the way. Okay? Eugene, thank you very much for coming on board and share with you all the beautiful diecasts. But you guys is out there, these diecasts are not cheap. I think on the table alone, how much is it, Kumar? Estimated?
Boleh cakap apa?
Let's not go there.
Tak apa lah, tak tahu lah.
But I would say 5 figures or more.
Yeah.
Thereabouts.
Thereabouts, yeah.
Right. And another thing, just to highlight to our viewers, we supposed to have our diecast giveaway in Dark Horse, but due to certain things, we were unable to arrange for this weekend. But we will come back again, another race. But the diecast we have already stand by.
A Mercedes.
So it's a Mercedes, and it's a very special car, actually. So stay tuned. We will update you guys on the next event in Dark Horse. Hope to see you, all the diecast collectors, all the Formula 1 fans, motorsport fans, and food enthusiasts, and come and join us.
Yes.
Right.
So our next coverage will be at the Pocket GP training at Sepang.
Yes, correct.
On the 4th of May. So by then, we'll see you trackside with all those young boys.
Yes. Ready to go. Challenge Marquez.
After a long break of Ramadan and also Raya. Okay. Eugene, thank you very much.
Thank
Kumar,
you for having me.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
So see you guys again. Having a good week ahead. Thanks a lot.
You,
Yeah.